Mr. Dumbass, I can bring a lot to Dumbass and Dumbass. I'm a go-getter. Dumbass material all the way. So, am I your man, Mr. Dumbass?
The name is Dumas.
That's pretty thick-headed. But nothing compared to the rich, thick, frosty mug taste of an A&W root beer. With A&W, it's good to be thick-headed.
What a dumbass.
That was a great move by Orton. Great agility by Orton. Oh, man, no.
Are you okay, honey?
Ready?
Go.
That was fucked up what they did to that old lady, man.
Man, what do you think was gonna happen? The
bitch.
bitch like stood in front of it.
She just kind of stood there, just like, oh, what's gonna happen here? I hope this doesn't fucking hurt a bunch.
She's like that story. I don't know if y'all heard about it. It was on Facebook or Twitter for a while about that couple that they shot the boyfriend to try to make a YouTube video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
Like,
exactly what that shit was, just on a smaller scale.
And what's funny is that she didn't get in trouble because apparently pregnant women can actually kill men now and not get in trouble. So it's great.
Man, it's a different case, Nick. But I really wish that bitch was in Massachusetts so we could have had that shit get tested in court.
We would have brought that shit up on the show ASAP.
It would have been like our OJ story. We just kept bringing up every new advancement in the case.
We could show about it like pregnant bitch versus the world. Like,
I'm not Native American. I'm Gotcha. Okay.
Oh man, but no, people at the Midnight Chat Tech. Actually, Anthony, why don't you welcome these young folks?
So I was about to do like a whole skit like I normally do my dumbass, but I was too busy laughing at that Randy Orton shit. I was dying, man. That shit, I love that shit. But no, people, welcome to the Midnight Chat Attack. It is Saturday evening, and you guys kick up your feet, put your hands back, relax, chill, get all that attackness, man. Just get shot up, just like oh shit. It's just so much. It's just so much that you just gotta put like on a bulletproof vest. Like if you live, you 50 Cent. If you die, you Tupac. So that's how you take it, okay? That's how you fucking take it.
I don't want to see a Lifetime movie, man. I'm sorry.
No,
I like
no,
how Gotcha's face, like, sometimes, you know what's funny is like you can tell how, not to insult you, but your IQ is probably not very, very high because you finally understand how crazy he is after he starts saying something towards the end of the sentence. But it takes a while. He's like, yeah, and he makes a face like, wait, what? Like
I give Anthony the benefit of the doubt. That is my true, honest impression that you see on my face.
Yeah,
I'm trying to follow him. I'm trying to follow him. He leads me to like the desert.
At least
hey, y'all, hey, no, you actually led me to the actual fucking desert, Gotcha. The literal desert.
Hey, man, the kids are dumb.
But hey, no, before we even continue, I want to welcome our very beautiful version of Martin Thomas and Denim. Woo!
I thought you were going to call her a beautiful virgin for a second. I was like, what are we going to sacrifice her to a volcano?
Store. I got
Mama.
Denim.
I'm sorry, man, with the denim. I just think of like Leon Bash every time I see that shit, but it's all right. It's all
Damn,
right.
you so hipstered out that I have to put some shades on, man. Fuck that,
shit
man.
my family dollar.
God damn, like, whoa, it's just too much. It's just too much. Right?
Let me go get my ironic small hat. I'll be right
I
back.
think it's IRS papers. That's what I thought you were
The
going to say.
IRS. No, but you know
No,
what,
man, go
Nick?
ahead.
Tell them about the itinerary. What we actually gonna have on this thing? Because we got some good stuff, and like we almost got really lucky too because that Disney thing had happened. So We know you guys will probably want to talk about that.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. Like, and obviously, I'm not going to go through the whole thing about the YouTube page or whatever. People, just go in here. If you want to talk in the YouTube chat too, by the way. Actually, as a matter of fact, and I should have made a straw poll. But maybe when we talk in the after hours tonight, we could probably discuss about like whether or not we should show the Double Toasted chat or the YouTube chat, because I do want to switch some things up every now and then. But with that said, too, itinerary-wise, Anthony, we're talking about, like you said, D23. We're talking about the Tick trailer, which I don't know if anyone gives a shit. Even Double Toasted didn't even touch on this, so I don't know. But maybe some people might like this stuff. We have a few community questions, which, by the way, we do have more questions. Or if you have some topics you guys want to bring up, come into the call. We can see what tickles your fucking fancy. And we can have a good old time, man. Oh, yes!
Reference. I like that.
I know. Wait, I don't even know what reference. What are you talking about?
No, reference to our old segment. That
our old segment. Yeah. Okay.
No, look, that's the thing, Nick. We've been around for so long that we actually have callbacks to old segments.
We have lores.
Yeah, we have lore. Like, anybody remember when we did that Guess the Transsexual?
Oh, that was great.
We actually,
and Allie won, by the way.
we gave away a cash prize for that. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm not saying all the segments we're proud of, but we did them.
But yeah, no, we're talking about tons of shit tonight, though, man. The PS5 as well, some video game stuff. I mean, there's just so much. Like, honestly, we're not going to get through any of all this shit tonight. Like, there's no way. Also, Flex and Chill, Spider-Man Homecoming spoiler talk. We're talking about that shit tonight. I guess Allie has seen War for the Planet of the Apes. We're going to be talking about that as well. When Alan comes in, maybe we're going to talk about Fargo Season 2. I don't know how that shit's going out right now. But, man, Collateral, son. Oh, just so much shit, dude. Flex and Chill,
so much shit. Oh.
But, yeah. But with that said,
let me tell you.
There's so much shit. I don't know how they're going to come in here and take a shit. How are they going to come in here? Tell them how to flush the toilet.
No, tell them. Motherfucker, get that toilet paper. Get it. Wipe your ass and get inside this car because we don't want no funky booty up in this bitch. We don't want no funky booty.
No funky booty.
No funky booty, but people, I want you to look on the left side of your screen. That's exactly where the tissue is going to be too. So I want you to grab a piece, but also
it's right there.
Right there, the Charmin. It's extra Scott.
Yeah, man, get yourself some Scott. It lasts longer.
Thank you. Scott is the shit. I only pick Charmin because
fuck Scott, man. My booty hole is soft and tender. I need that Charmin Ultra.
Scott,
hey, they have extra soft, Scott.
But.
Yeah, and actually, Allie, your booty's really tender, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's great.
But hey, whatever type of toilet paper that you want, you're gonna pick it up. But when you also get that piece of toilet paper, you're also gonna click that Google Hangouts link that's also in the PM that I'm sending you guys, because it's gonna be blinking red and yellow. Hopefully not like your ass in the hemorrhoids, but it's gonna be blinking red and yellow. It opens up. You see that Google Hangouts link. You take that tissue paper, you wipe your ass, and it comes out the call in a very hygienic manner.
And the thing is, too, it's all cool. It's all cool too. If you don't have the money, you can also get this kind of toilet paper over here. You know, hey, 1 ply, 12 single rows. We keep it simple in the Midnight Chat.
Man, that is the shit they give you in prison. I am more than
I didn't even know they had their own
does anybody else do this? The same toilet paper, but like when you actually like go to take a number 2, like you actually split up the toilet paper and actually have like 2 pieces. You actually had 2 pieces. No, man, motherfucking discounts, man. You gotta say that shit, man.
All right, I got a question for y'all. Since we're on toilet paper.
No, I'm talking about before you wipe, Allie. I'm talking about before you wipe, you get the big tissue paper and you like rip it in half and it comes apart. So you get 2 pieces instead of 1.
Yeah, especially with Scott's because it's 2 ply.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's double layer.
About toilet paper, and this is something that's always bothered me when I go to like shitty bathrooms that are like at 7-Eleven or at a bar in like 6th Street. Where the fuck do they get that straight brown paper? I never see that in the stores, and God knows I went to Costco a few times in my lifetime.
Yeah, and here's another thing that's really crazy too is that people don't actually do this, and they should often because hey, dude, we're gonna do a show one of these days called the MCA Scenarios or MCA Solutions. We will bring that up one day and show people how to deal with being, poor. Because what I used to do, and man, I know people from my family are probably watching this right now. I'm sorry, but I gotta pull us all out and just be completely honest here. But I've been through some shit. Back in the day, before working with Double Toasted, I had no money. Coffee filters are great for wiping your ass. I'm serious, man.
Damn.
You gotta do it.
Hey, tough times, man. Tough times.
Man, I had tough times. Like I didn't want to go to the store to buy a roll, so I used like paper towels. But like that's like some broke shit right there.
No,
but you know what? No,
I'm sorry. I was gonna say blowing your nose. Shit don't work so well. Don't blow your nose.
Only like it's fucked up, but the tissue that's good for blowing your nose, like literally, is Kleenex because like it's so soft. Especially like the Vicks ones too. Those are really fucking good. But you know what, Ganja? Tell them the rules of how they wipe their ass.
Yeah,
They don't know
know the rules of hygiene since we're on it, but I guess that'll make a less fun show. So, anyways, the rules, guys. Rule number 1: newcomers join the call first. I'm already fucking up, and that includes the newcomers. Join the call first. We want to see those fresh new faces and want to get all those people onto the show. So make sure to message me, Anthony, or Nick inside the PM system. Rule number 2: do not talk over each other.
Look at the rules.
Yes! It's just plainly rude and ruins audio quality for later viewing, guys. So make sure to keep that in mind. We're in a conversation about a topic. Your fellow toasty wants to get their opinion across, so please do not talk over each other. Rule number 3: please no nudity. This one is kind of goes with the Bible. Just keep it in your pants. Rule number 4: do not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show, and that's who comes onto the show with certain topics. So if we find out you gave a link to somebody and they came on, we're kicking both your asses out. Rule number 5: read the rules and Alley Girls scream it.
Don't be a dick.
Thank you.
And if you do, wipe it with some coffee filters. But
I can't scream.
by the way, where does it say in the Bible like not to show your dick in a Google call?
I don't know, man. Why you gotta call me like that?
It's
right. It's right under the parable. You know, it says like honor their mother and their father. It says, you know, like don't show your dick in a Google call. It's like,
Actually,
right.
Thou
it's
should not
in
steal,
Revelations,
thou should not
actually.
murder, thou should keep it in his pants.
Yeah, thou should keep it in his pants. Thou should not cast the first dick.
On the first day, dick was shown in the Google Hangouts call.
I can't with you people.
Like,
Allie, you
what do you
love
mean by
our
you
humor.
Aw.
Weird people.
Weird people. Oh, damn.
Hey, I'll be weird, sweetheart. It pays the bills sometimes. Maybe.
Maybe, possibly. Maybe in the
Occasionally.
future.
Not really.
Hopefully.
Not really.
Now, before Google Hangouts kicks you out again, Justin, how the fuck are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm good.
Yes, it works.
Oh, it was just the issue with the my portable microphone. I'm just using the computer again. So, yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah, nice. Are you still doing stuff for oneofus.net, man?
I am indeed. I still write all the notes for One of Us. I'm starting it. Well, I'm now part of a new podcast also. So if you ever check out Unapologetic Geek Out, we have some new stuff coming up.
Oh, nice.
So.
Yeah, and I know that you are doing the intern shit, right? The intern podcast thingy?
Yeah, actually, we're going to record a new episode tomorrow, so expect to see that in the next week, too. So
Yeah, so let me ask you this. And Anthony, I know you got something to add to this because I'm going to get this shit out of the way, because I now want to talk about this shit later on. I'm scared about this topic because I feel like this shit's going to just fall down the river and go poof, you know what I mean? Just like fucking Justin's portable microphone.
But no, I think that was Gotcha.
No, man, but the dick. I mean, the dick.
Anthony, that's the black version.
That's the plan.
The dick.
I'm not sure what this is. Oh, the tick.
Yes, I was actually really interested. Like, okay, because like this is like really like geek out nerdum for me. Like, because I actually grew up with the original, like the cartoon back on when they used to show it on Fox Kids, and then they moved it to Jetix. And then I also grew up with the live action TV show with Patrick Warburger or whatever. And
Warburton.
Yeah. I always say Warburger. Yeah, but yeah,
Patrick Waterburger.
Waterburger. But like that's always my tick too. And the funny thing about it is just like Tick always comes back around these interesting times because back on the Fox Kids, you had like a lot of superhero shows. Like the X-Men, you had Spider-Man, you had like a lot of those 90s like cartoons and stuff like that. And pretty much Tick was made to make fun of superheroes. He was pretty much like satire off of Sora when he was made as a mascot for some newspaper article or whatever.
Well, is this kind of like a Deadpool type situation? Or?
Like almost in a sense, but a little bit more wacky. Like Tick was a little bit more on the wacky side. I don't think he broke the fourth wall as much as Deadpool does.
I don't think he broke the fourth wall. He was just a parody of superheroes. Like
the
idea where it's like, what if a superhero like this existed, but he's just a complete, retard. Or, okay, I guess I can't say that really. He was just a complete
too late, son.
Yeah, too late. No, but that's
it's out there.
Like he always, like it seems like he always comes around when it's like a lot of superhero stuff. Like I said, like the live action TV show, the cartoon was around. Like it was this juxtaposition compared to all these other comic book properties.
Anthony, I could be wrong on this, but didn't like it come out during like the height of like the '90s cartoons with like Spider-Man, the X-Men?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, yeah, it was around that time, like Fox Kids and stuff like that. And like, it seems like history is repeating itself with the Amazon series because, like, like Marvel is hype. Like, I mean, like with D23, it was like a whole bunch of Marvel news and comic book news. Like, it's like the age of the comic book now. So it's kind of funny that Tick again is coming around to make satire of the superhero genre and stuff like that. Granted, from the trailer, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't seem like it has the same charm, and maybe it just like I don't know, because like going back to the original, the one with Patrick, and I can't remember who's the guy that plays Arthur. Scoob, you faced the Tick, but that had like this kind of like '90s cheesiness to it, where it actually kind of worked for his character. Where this one, they trying to do that whole cheesiness, but it's just giving it. It seems more cringe than actually working to actually be campy and stuff like that. Like it's almost like. I don't know if Tick can work nowadays. Like, I don't know, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I feel like it can, but go ahead. I'm sorry, Justin.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, I don't know. Justin, go ahead, man.
Well, I was going to say, first of all, the guy who played Arthur was David Burke back in the day. So.
Can you tell Wikipedia said hi?
Oh, what?
No, because you looked at your phone. I'm just trying to be a dick, man. I'm just like, can you tell Wikipedia said hi, IMDb? No,
yeah. No, that's your TV show, Nick, the Dick. But anyways, I'm curious about this because from the pilot, I never actually saw the pilot on Amazon, the one they did to promote this series. Mm-hmm. But I understand it took more of kind of a dark comedy route where they wanted to really not copy what the original series did. They're like, okay, the original Tick is not going to be replicated because we can't get Patrick Warburton. And, that was just of a different age. So we're kind of going for something where it is funny, it is goofy, but it also has this weird, like, subversively dark element to it kind of thing. At least that's what the pilot was telling me. The trailer looks goofy as heck, but...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't know what... Yeah, I don't know where it's going to go with it, but I love this actor, Peter Serafinowicz, who's playing the Tick. He's great. Like, if you guys ever seen Shaun of the Dead, he's Sean's roommate who gets killed early on.
Oh, yeah. He was in the shower, man.
You mean, Nick, if I was living with him?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Wow, dude, I need to change my life, man, because I sound like a fucking asshole.
No, you're not. You just see my potential, and I got to drop my fat-ass friend.
Oh, man. No, but that's the thing, though. Like, I'm looking at...
That's not you, Anthony.
You mean me?
No, we good. No one's fat in here, by the way. We're all just big boned. But the thing is, though, yeah, you're right, though, Justin. Like, this does look a little silly and everything. I don't know, like, how Anthony said, too. Like, he doesn't know how this is going to work in this particular thing. But I will say this. This might be silly and shit, but every shot, I mean, look, I'm pausing it, like, over here. Every shot is so, like, rendered out. Like, this shit looks really, really good. You can pause it anywhere, and it's almost like a poster. And usually people say that about animation and about, really weird, like, stoner movies and shit. But, like, I like how I put it right on Gone when it says stoner movies. Yeah. But it's like, it really, really looks good. Like, it's well shot for an Amazon Prime fucking thing.
No, that's the thing. And like I said, it could work just in the sense that I said, like, Tick always comes around to make fun of superheroes, like, genres and stuff like that. And, like, superheroes is big right now. Like, it's fucking on fire. So this could be just, like, a nice juxtaposition. Just be like, oh, you need something to, like, take away all the Marvel and DC stuff. Here's something that's making fun of all of this. Like, Nick, you might actually like it because, like I said, it makes fun of all the stupid shit. It says, like, yeah, superheroes is fucking retarded. So, so like, I guess you might, it might be up your alley or something like that. But I'm curious.
Do you feel like this is going to trigger people? Do you feel like this is going to piss people off?
No. Like, if people get triggered by the fucking Tick, get a fucking life. Sorry.
But see, people got triggered by Samurai Jack. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people, man, this is one funny-ass generation where they're so fucking stupid. You just don't know what's going to be happening.
But they were thrilled about those ponies, Nick.
Yeah, that too. Like, oh my god. Like, it's just kind of like, fucking A, dude. I mean, and here's the thing. I know that I always just jump on Allie, like, hey, like, what do you feel about this comic book thing, whatever. I know that this doesn't fit what you're into. But you being somewhat casual and probably never watched the Tick, how is this looking to you? I mean, do you think you're going to watch this? I know you have Amazon Instant Video, the whole thing. What do you feel, Allie?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch this. Honestly. I got other stuff that, like, I have so many other shows that I could be watching. I'm like, I'm not going to watch something that, like, yeah, I've heard of the Tick. I remember when it came on, but I never really cared to watch it.
And the funny thing is, too, is, like, I'm surprised you're saying it because apparently there's some incest. The blue guy wants to fuck this thing. And I'm joking. No. She watched a lot of old school, like, Roman times.
Old school? We watching Riverdale and they found a way to have incest.
Well, dude, that's in now. Like,
Hey, incest is wincest. Like, say it with me. Incest is wincest.
You know, I'm gonna
Man, I know where you
Make that
got
a
that from, and I want to choke
trending
the
thing.
fuck out of you.
No, it's all right.
This
No, it's too late.
conversation is insufferable now. So
You stop.
no, but I'm gonna end this conversation off with the right person to do it. So, Rufus, you are a very, very mature man. Okay, you, I mean, you laugh at stupid shit. But Rufus, what do you feel about this? Because I'm seeing you talk in the chat, and I don't want to scroll too much because I want people to actually see their comments and whatnot. But you're bringing up like RCL, celebrity, Norwegian, the whole thing. Like, does this kind of like portray, or does this have anything to do with the tick or anything? Or what do you feel about this, man?
No, we were having a cruise conversation between me, Skull, and Bugs.
Okay.
As far as the tick, I did used to watch the tick when it was a cartoon, when it was first on. But I don't really care about this. I'm honest, like why? I guess is the big question I have.
That's why I feel too, but it's almost like, I mean, the way it was shot, and then like this thing, like there's a lot of episodes, and there's like 104,000 views on this. Like, let me show you actually, 104,000 views on this video. People are kind of into it, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Well, this the cartoon
It was a really great idea. But it had its time though. Even the live action version, like it had its time. It's like we're good. I don't need more tick.
Wow,
I don't need more dick. I don't need more dick.
I have enough tick when I go out there and party at the club.
No, and the funny thing about it, I almost forgot to mention, but yeah, like it was kind of short-lived then. Well, the live action, because I only think it was only 9 episodes. Like,
yeah, no,
only
it
like
lasted
one
a season. Yeah,
so that shit did not last that long, like even back then. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how this is gonna have longevity. So I just thought it was like something cool. And only friends like grew up with it back on Fox Kids are probably gonna actually like tune in and stuff like that. Like I might give it like a watch, like a pilot or something. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know either. And right now, if you hear me typing like crazy, I'm over here in the YouTube chat thingy, and Anthony's like, "What? Oh God!" No, yeah, no. People are talking here in the YouTube chat. I'm sorry for not showing you guys. I really do wish that I can show you guys more often. We're probably gonna be doing that next week on the YouTube chat. But I appreciate you guys talking in here. By the way, it really does help us out. And yeah, I mean, you don't see any gifts and whatnot. Like Gary, that's probably one of the reasons why you're not on the DT chat. Then I'm sorry, I had to do it, son. People are getting too many boners, and we're trying to keep people from showing their dicks on camera. So yeah, but
it was getting back to the point. That man was even on topic. Like it would be a picture of that girl from BioShock, and we're talking about like space and shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put the thing on me real quick, Gary. I am sorry, Gary. But I can't look at all that ass while I'm doing the thing, man. I can't do it. I get distracted. I like ass.
It raises his keyboard too much.
Yep, exactly. And then I can't type.
He likes ass because of me. I've kind of rubbed off on him. So,
yeah,
so thank you.
Rubbed off? Ugh.
I don't want to know what you all do in private. Good lord,
dude, you're ruthless. Like the only thing is though, like Nick always wants me to pay him. Like every time I give him sexual favors.
Y'all got stuff.
No, wait. You don't want to know what Nick has to do for a 20. I'm just saying.
Man, I don't do shit for 20. I do that shit for the views. That's why I get rich.
No, we all know you get strange for some change. $1.50.
I was like, yo, dick for some likes. No, but
ew. Hey man, I give handjobs for subscribers.
I like how Tessa's like, ew.
Can we move on?
Yeah, please.
It's getting weird.
Yeah, I'm with Allie.
Hey, toilet paper. No.
Round toilet paper. Lovely.
But you know what, though? There's no way to easily segue into the next thing, so I'm just going to actually bring this up. And I'm going to have you, Anthony, I'm going to have you read this entire fucking thing, because we're doing our first community question of the night, sir. Ooh, bam! Oh, I'm sorry. God damn, he just broke his shit, and I didn't even have it on camera.
No, he straight hit his elbow and came back to the camera like a moving animal. Ow.
I'm tired of turning me on with that shit. I'm broken.
No, but let's go back. Let's try to be professional. Go back to the question.
I really hope you break something important, though. Apologies.
No, it was just some glasses. Fuck them. It's pretty much the community question actually from 90s, which has actually been a fucking while. Yeah. But it said, our past can sometimes haunt us. So how would you carry on your life if you suddenly had amnesia of your past experiences, but still maintain your past skills? And why would the past hinder your progress otherwise?
Because I know
yeah, basically just any action movie from the 90s where you just wake up, you have amnesia, but you're a super assassin.
Yeah, you're just like, no, but
before we continue on, because I know, like, I'm not trying to make fun of 90s or anything. He's just like, 90s likes to think really, really deep into certain things, and that's like his best quality. I love 90s for that. But I'm actually not going to show you guys' faces too much. I'm going to show the question a lot because it is something that you had to kind of keep, your head around.
Just to start off, like if I didn't have my past, I probably wouldn't have as many trust issues as I do now. Like if I had like completely just wiped away my past, and especially if I fucking like still had my 3D modeling and logo design skills and all that skills, I think I would be like fucking like not CEO of a company, but like really, really fucking close. Because I really think that my past actually kind of hinders that and stuff like that. My ability to because he doesn't say it like in the question. I don't know if he's talking about personality wise either. So I'm thinking like you still have your personality, you just don't have your past. Because it's kind of weird because those things are so linked. Like your past and your personality kind of like make the same thing. Like your past is the reason why you have your what's the name. So I think if my past went away, I probably would be a different person. And since I probably would be a different person, I think I would. I think I would be an asshole. Like I literally think I would not be the same person that I was. And I would probably be like on a higher level now. Like that's just me personally. But I think like getting rid of my past would probably do wonders for me. Like to be honest. So.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Ganja, I'm really curious because you got a fucked up past. Your shit could be like a super villain story, an origin story. I don't know. So,
or a rapper.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But no, like little dunk, but
little bong rip.
But guys, go ahead, man. Like I'm gonna put this up. Again.
Me personally, man, like I kind of hate these questions because it kind of like it. The fact that he says like you keep your personal skills and like a lot of your like traits and stuff, a lot of that stuff is based on your experiences in life and based on memory. So it's kind of like you wouldn't even start off with any of your progress or past skills because that is kind of what you live from like beginning to end of your life to get is to get a certain amount of skills that you enjoy or can use for monetary good or helping you or your family. And that's kind of what your past gives you. Like a lot of stuff that I did that I consider that could haunt me or consider negative about my past. I still gained a lot of skills from it, or I became more social out of it, or I just see, what the potential of negativity in life can happen. So me personally, I don't think I can answer this question all the way because I just think the question is impossible to answer because I think, skills and your experiences, that all makes who you are. So to get rid of it, it kind of destroys who you are.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, too, is like I kind of expected that from you in a way. But anybody else want to go really quick though? Just while I was thinking of mine.
Yeah, sure.
Ruthless, go ahead, man.
It's a difficult question because I think for some people, their job they only get because of the past experience of how they got the skills. Like, yes, it would be very interesting to have this kind of ability to convince people, and my research skills and things like that I've gotten from law school and from my undergrad degrees. But that's really kind of pointless if I don't have the stuff I learned specifically from that. That's all past experience. The past also would be difficult because there'd be things about myself that I would suddenly no longer know. Things, not just like medical stuff. I mean, there are people that you lose when you lose these experiences, and those people may be helpful for whatever you're doing going forward. Like that. I mean, there is no way that this would not go wrong. Like in movies, it always goes perfectly right. In reality, it would go very, very wrong very quickly. I'm reminded kind of a friend who works in the medical field and has talked to me before about how amnesia works. It's like, no, it's like hell on earth. You're trapped in a body that you have no understanding of, doing things that you don't even understand the context of why you know how to do them. Like this is a horror movie. This is not a triumphant moment in reality. So that would hinder my entire life and the lives of people around me because I don't care how much you know me and love me. I don't know who you are anymore. I don't have the feelings about you because I don't know why I had the feelings in the first place. And you can't explain them to me because I can't recall those past experiences. Like that's crazy when you think about it.
This is actually kind of crazy too because it actually kind of reminds me of a Vsauce video that I actually had watched. You guys could check them out on YouTube. But I think it was a Vsauce 2 video where it was pretty much, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a big musician back in the day. And the only things that actually like brought him back, because he had amnesia too after he had like a stroke or something. And I think the only thing that actually had brought him back to like life was like his love for his wife and his music. Like every time his wife would come to visit him, he would always just be like, oh yeah, why did she leave? Like you haven't visited me in a while. every time she would leave, but she would just be like there. And then every time he would go on the piano, he would remember who he was and like his purpose in life and everything like that. But soon after he stopped playing the piano, he would go back into like pretty much what Ruthless said, just like this husk of a person that you don't even know.
And what was it about Michael Stevens, the guy from Vsauce, or was he talking about?
No. It was some musician. I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like in the video. Like it was in the video that I watched.
Yeah, I know that story. That was a long time ago. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's very man, that's just crazy.
No, yeah, that's fucked up. Like this just shows you like the two most powerful things on the planet. Like it says, like love, and then the other one is just like how your passion for your career. And those are two things that kind of, in a sense, brought him back to life. So,
I think for me, like I wouldn't want. By the way, hey everyone.
Yeah.
I think for me, like if I had amnesia and lost the last 10 years of my life, it would be very sad. Because 10 years ago, I was so unhappy. And, I wouldn't know my husband. I wouldn't know quite a few of the friends that I have now. And the idea that I would forget these amazing people that I love like family now is just sad to me. I would never want that. Now, even if I retain the skills and said, okay, well, the lessons and stuff, a lot of those, like Ruthless said, a lot of those skills and those lessons I gained over the last decade, I gained from knowing these people that I've met over the last 10 years, from having these experiences and knowing, like, for example, when it comes to jobs, I now know my worth when it comes to employment. I will never settle for bullshit jobs. I don't mind taking them if I have to for money, but I won't sell myself short ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll work and I work harder now than I did a decade ago at proving myself.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing, like, too, I was going to say about myself really quick, and I'll just make this really quick, because for me, I'm pretty fucking immature. And when I was, like, 17, I was no different than I am now. So I'm just saying, like, if I went back, the only thing that would suck is I wouldn't know who Ganja Anthony was, and I'm pretty sure that if it went back into Double Toasted and it was like, hey, like, these guys are funny, the whole thing, I think I would have probably landed to, like, hey, like, Anthony Wilson, you're pretty funny, like, let's hang out again. And it would have been, I mean, the only thing is I would hate that I wouldn't have seen that high score episode where you flip the fuck out at Good but like, fucking shit, and I would have missed out on all the times where Ganja did something ridiculous, whatever the fuck. But for the most part, I think I don't know, like, I just feel like you guys, I never really like tried to be your guys' friends. I think it kind of just happened so naturally that it would totally happen again. It would just redo the whole shit that we were going through. So
no, you got a perfect example. Like, because I actually kind of think that too. Like, some people think that it's faith or destiny or something like that. But I think you are supposed to meet certain people and things are supposed to happen. Like, if they don't happen the exact same way, like in this timeline, they still happen, but like it's like different, like slight variations. But I think I think in my life, like if I had an amnesia or something like this, I think I would have still met Nick somehow. And I think I probably still would have met like Ganja, some of you guys, because I think you guys just taught me important lessons. Because the funny thing about it is like I was gonna move to Arizona for college to actually get my game art design. So I think me and you would have met regardless. Like I think it was just important for me and you to meet.
He would have picked you up on the corner at some point.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, that's the thing. Like, I sometimes I get pretty desperate, and if I saw you out there with the shit that you wear, dude, I mean, that ass would have been fucking like, you would have had the heartbeat from Zelda going like, I would have fucked your shit
Hey,
up.
come and get it, man. Come and get it, man.
Allie, you might want to meet yourself again. They're talking about raping each other.
Yeah, this is getting weird.
No, but Allie, like you, if you had amnesia, or I'll do a 90s voice, like if you had amnesia, but like you got skills from back in the day, but you were gone, but you dead, but then you remember everything. That's a crazy ass question, man. Dude, it was such a 90s question. I love this shit. And
when you did that, you sound like the Nutty Professor, like from Eddie Murphy. It was like, no, you gotta remember. You do
I'm just saying. I've been saying this for a while now.
Okay. So that's just random. I'll just read what Jordan said in the chat. The alternate universe of the MCA is called the SCA. I don't even know what that means.
Sunrise Chat Attack.
Sunrise Chat Attack.
Man, really?
Don't you know Sunrise Chat Attack? 7:30 a.m. CST. What?
No, it's not a thing, but it might be a thing. I don't know. But hey.
I'm confused. I'll get back to you.
No, but Allie, I'm gonna go and throw this question at you though, because I am curious, and I'm pretty sure you'll be like, well, I mean, I like life. But I mean, like, yeah, I'm curious though. Like, I mean, what do you feel? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like after what Ruthless said, that's kind of like, I was like, whoa, that should kind of change my whole like perspective on the situation. But like what I was initially gonna say was that I feel that my past experiences, because I fail, like when you fail, you learn. So if that's all of a sudden just robbed from you, it's like you have to kind of mess up all over again just to progress when you do things. So I feel like it's definitely like, yeah, it's not. I would have a hard time, obviously.
Because I'm kind of curious too, and I'm wondering, and you can answer me this, because I don't feel like you're a big example of failure. You know what I mean? Like you got your YouTube channel thing going on, you got all this stuff. Like,
everyone fails. Like, just because of like surface of what you've seen doesn't necessarily mean that I haven't like screwed up a bunch of times in my life. Yeah, I definitely have, especially like what if someone tells me, hey, you might not want to do that, and I'm like, I'll do it and see what happens, and then I end up screwing up, and I'm like, well, fudge, I should have just listened to that person. So it's like, yeah, those parts of like myself, at least, I'm just like, okay, well, now I've learned, maybe when someone tells me maybe it's not a good idea, I actually will listen. I won't just write it off like, it's okay if I do it. It's not going to be that big of a deal, and it ends up being a big deal when I screw up. So.
Yeah, and
no, you are right about that, Ellie. Like you said, like on the surface, it might not seem like I felt a lot, but like my past, like let me just break it down like an example, and I might be paraphrasing, but it's this guy, and he pretty much had like, if I remember the story correctly, I think he had got laid off all of his jobs. His wife had actually died when he actually first got married, and he got it was like a lot of bad shit that happened to this guy, and he was just like down on the dumps. And then guess who this guy is? Actually, it's the fucking guy that came up with KFC. So it's just like you never know, like all that fucking like heartache that he went through. It was just like holy shit.
That's actually where he found the.
Look what happened to Joe Biden.
Oh, shit, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look what happened to Joe Biden when his wife, his first wife died, and his daughter. Like he lost him in the car crash, and then of course he lost his like favorite son earlier this year, a couple years ago to cancer.
Favorite son? I mean, that's fucked up.
Well, I mean the way that they talked like that son was his favorite one, but like I mean he's gone through so much, and yet he still is a hardworking, inspirational man. Yeah. It's kind of like the story of Job, I guess, in the Bible.
Yeah, no, but hey, basically, I guess Joe Biden is a religious figure now. That's fucking great. Like, oh, Joe Biden. No,
Joe Biden.
But no, speaking of
him, dressed like the Pope with like a bald eagle, just blessing the Congress and shit.
We are Bidenists.
Speaking of religion, I was gonna say speaking of Joe Biden. Now, speaking of religion, Ellen Birdman is here.
You could have gone speaking of birds and anointing with eagles.
We must stay with the basic.
Oh religion. Shit! I can't wait to test this out. The MCA got that new DLC. Oh shit!
What the fuck?
The joke was Alan was the DLC.
Hey man, I love how you show his facial features. That's so on point.
Alan's the DLC.
Hey, if you beat the game and start New Game Plus, you can actually play as a bird. Like.
Anyway, what's up, guys?
Dude, the AI on your bird is fucked. What is that thing doing?
Don't worry, that'll get fixed in the next patch.
I swear I saw it melt through your shirt like an Assassin's Creed game.
I know, man.
Pre-order now to get Captain Jack Ferret.
Dude,
Oh my god. Y'all tell people if we ever do a fighting game, we gotta make that guy a DLC.
I'm telling you, dude, I swear to God, like, Birdman would be, like, my most played character because he's the only one who could fly and fucking, like, shoot bird projectiles and bird shit at people. Like,
we'll make him OP that he jumps just a little bit higher than any projectiles that can hit him.
Then glides.
I don't want to be in the game. I want to be the announcer saying, like, crazy before fight stuff.
Yeah.
Across the golden heavens, rain down from above, fight.
No, Ganja.
Not bad, not bad.
Pretty much playing as Ganja's character would pretty much just be playing as Smoke from Mortal Kombat.
I don't know if you remember this, but those Street Fighter games, they used to have this random characters in the background that were cheering them on. That would be me.
I can imagine Birdman, like when he had those introductions where people talk shit before a match. He's like, "Dude."
And then we have Nick as Scorpion because he never shows his face, and then once he reveals, it's just a skull, and it's on fire.
Wait, you're telling me Nick is secretly Skull? Damn.
Yeah. You never see them both in the same room at the same time.
I want your special maneuver to be the Ragnarok, and it just like takes their health to like down to like 25%.
And my show would be like, "Get out of here!" Like,
no, he'd just be like Shang Tsung. He'd just shape shift like the Toasted Toast. He'd be like a rock, then he'd be a bottle.
Oh, that's much better.
Man, fuck you, dude. One of these days I'll pick one that's good, alright? Shit. Like...
Ali's weakness is low kicks.
her foot's a boomerang.
We gotta keep going, man. We have gone on this for like hours, man. We gotta keep going.
I just pictured Ali as Chun-Li.
Someone needs to do a fan art of the MCA Mortal Kombat team.
She could do that so easily. Because her hair looks like Chun-Li's right now.
Piss the fuck off.
Like all of you?
Oh, come on. Everyone got one. Everyone gets one.
No, but one thing I will do, though, is, because I don't want to just jump off the topic just out of nowhere. Because 90's really, he's great with these questions. So, Justin, I'm going to ask you, and then it's Alan. I'm going to have you answer the same question, you know. So you guys didn't see this before. Well, at least Alan didn't. Justin, here it is again, sir. Go ahead and, if you have anything, like, let me know what you feel about this question.
I've been struggling with this question because, one, it's kind of long-winded the way that it's asked, kind of thing. Like, nothing's pressed out. So, how would you carry your slap? But, I just, I don't know. It's. I'll just say this: the last 10 years have had some of the most significant developments in my whole life. Like who I am today has really come from the last 10 years. So, on the one hand, it would be really sad if I lost all those skills, but on the other hand, some of my biggest blunders happened during these last 10 years. So maybe life would be a little better. But that's the problem is that who you are is based on your personality. It's based on everything you've done up to that point, all the lessons you've learned. It's like you guys said earlier. I don't know what else I can really add to that. I'm just saying, yeah, it would suck, and I guess I don't know.
That's depressing as shit. It's like I'm terrible, and I just feel as though
I just killed myself, guys. I'll just be 100% honest.
I'll be very nervous during missionary.
I never would have gone on a mission without the last 10 years. I'm just saying, but.
No,
I would only do doggy style.
Whoa! Hey!
That's a recovery for your ass.
Good job, Justin. Good job.
MVP, man.
Hey, you my Mormon now. Good job.
My Mormon.
My Mormon.
Are you doing the Jungle Book, The Rock fucking eyebrow?
I'm sorry. I was a big fan, so I adopted some facial features, motherfucker.
How many times you practice that shit in the mirror, too? Like, oh,
Dude, I was 5. You have no idea how many times I practiced that.
Don't talk about facials, please.
You want one?
Nervous. Oh, good. Alan, how about this, man?
You like a nice donut, son.
I'm going to put this shit on. Because I'm really curious, Alan. I don't know if you watched the show beforehand, whatever, and got other people's answers and whatnot, and kind of knew how, like...
I heard a bit of, it's just, if you lost all your memories, still had your skills. This is actually something I kind of think of a lot, because I have a really, really good memory, so I remember all my fuck-ups for my entire life. So I constantly think, like, I would not be the same person I was if I didn't fuck up as much as I did, or didn't get treated like shit as much when I was a kid. So I don't know what kind of person I would be, but I honestly don't think I'd be the same person I was if I didn't have all of the past regrets that I do have. So if I just had all my skills, but without my past memory, I'd probably be the biggest piece of shit you've ever met, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that's how we all, like, I mean, I don't know how many other people feel that way too, but I just feel like if you have all the skills without having to go through the shit to get the skills, that's literally privilege in a box. Like, I mean,
that's a fucking cheat code.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm mildly intelligent, I look like garbage half the time, but I'm like, oh, somebody else could probably think, hey, maybe I don't look like garbage. So I'd be using whatever skills I had to just get whatever I wanted, you know?
Yeah. Now, one question, and I mean, I love that question. I think it sums up everything perfectly, and I do, maybe we do need to move on from this particular question, but this one might be a little bit easier, Anthony. I'm going to go ahead and have you read this as I put it up on screen, also from 90s. And,
nice. He's just been killing them. He's just been sending them in. But
Just
how
having
would your life differ? And I actually got some context for this because I don't even think we brought this shit up on the show. But how would your life differ if the internet as a whole were to stop working tomorrow? And like I said, the context for this, like we 90s made this question because I don't even know if anybody else was on Google Hangouts at the time. But we was all just chilling like how we normally do, a big happy family, gay as fuck. But pretty much Google Hangouts just went down. Like, it just dropped. Like, everything, just no communication. We was just like, what the hell? And I had made, like, a Discord group and everything, and I had sent it to everybody on Facebook. But pretty much 90s, because we always talk about, motherfucker, get a Facebook. We need another way to contact your ass. Nobody can get in contact with 90s to tell him what the fuck was going on. He'd have Skype. He'd have had nothing. The only way I got in contact with him is he actually has my phone number. He actually called me, and I see the Chicago number, and I'm just like, yeah, well, we in the Discord. Let me see the link and shit like that. So it was just like frightening to sense that we had like Alan, Allie, Ganja, Nick. We was like completely cut off from each other, and we could not find a way to actually talk to each other. And it just showed us like how close we were. So in that sense, to answer the question, how my life would differ, yeah, MCA, bye-bye. Some of my friends, like my only friends, gone. Like I would pretty much just be by myself. Like I would like how I was before the MCA and stuff like that. I'll probably really more focused on my whole video game development thing. Like that'll probably be a little bit more of a focus then. And then again, I probably wouldn't even be able to do that then too, because after going to that game jam, I still made some connections through the internet and stuff like that. That was the only reason why I had found it. So my profession probably wouldn't even like be as like, I probably wouldn't be able to access it as much as I could.
The one thing I want to bring up really quick, because here's the thing. Like, I know everyone's going to pretty much say nearly the same thing in that sense, but I feel like... I disagree. Oh, you disagree? Okay, awesome. Because here's the thing. I want to bring this up really quick, and just to kind of give you guys a different aspect of this, because I feel like the world would be such a better place without the internet, dude. I really, 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 really feel that way.
I kind of feel that way, too.
Yeah.
I mean...
To a degree. Like,
you guys are just a bunch of old people. Like, the internet, man. This shit was better before. Shit was the same. It's just,
Alan,
now you can see how dumb shit was.
I'm trying to yell at the sky.
Yeah, do you feel that, Allie, how this is about to get crazy?
No, I do agree with, you guys. I do think the internet, without the internet, I think a lot of us would probably be better off. I know, at least for me personally, I know for a fact that before I really got into the internet, I had a ton of friends. I went outside, like I went to places I don't go to now. And I had just like such a array of friends and people I could hang out with. And now, as much as I do love you guys, it is nice to kind of be able to go out and hang out actually in my city, with people. And it just sucks now that I feel so isolated, and I feel like I really rely so much on the internet to talk to people now that it's just kind of made me a little bit stir crazy.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. Like even on I mean, we do the whole double toast thing and etc. But it's like honestly, like even that stuff, it's not even like a real job. You know what I mean? Like everything we do online, it's not even counting for anything. I wish I had something like what a lot of you guys have. Like you have a real job. Ganja, all of you guys. And it's like, when I go outside, dude, I have little fucking social anxiety attacks. I literally grew a beard out so people won't fucking talk to me because I look like a lunatic.
I don't know, man, because growing up, like, I, didn't go on the internet much because I grew up in the 90s. That wasn't really a thing. And I had, real life, real world friends type thing. And honestly, I just was miserable for the most part. And now I fast forward to, me right now, it's like, I'm going to be going to another country in 2 weeks because I met a bunch of people online. Like, that would have never fucking happened if I didn't have the internet.
Usually I get kidnapped for that to happen.
No, I'm like that.
Well, yeah, I didn't get kidnapped. It's at the Middle East. That's
no, Alan, like, that's the same story. Like, granted, like, Nick, I see what you're saying, but, like, at the same time, it's just, like, I feel like it's helped so many people also hinder, but also help. But it's kind of like any addiction because it's just like, there's alcohol out here, there's heroin and shit like that. So it's just like anything could be an addiction. I think internet is just one of them. So you got to use it wisely. You got to be a mature person and use it wisely and not like as a lot. So just like in doses, just like I said, just like with anything. But just to bounce off what Alan said, yeah, my life since I've been doing all of this shit has just been on an upwards trajectory that's just like even like my mind can't even process. Like I'm actually just went to like fucking Vegas and like other shit because of this. Like I never would have went to these places just because I started talking my fucking mouth off on the internet. So it's just like, yeah, the internet. Like in fact, when I was in high school and middle school, I do not speak about those times and periods with like love. Like, no, that shit was hell. Fuck high school and middle school. Like, because I had like friends here and there, but those motherfuckers like stabbed me in the back and shit like that. So it's just like, granted, that could be just like with anybody, but it's just like those experiences and shit like that. It just really kind of put a bad taste in my mouth where it probably did shelter me to the internet. But like I said, maybe I put the blame on me. Maybe I fucked up. Like I said, like maybe I should be a little bit more sparingly with my internet usage. But that has to be on me as an adult. You know,
I love you so much right now.
I think it's interesting that
for
you
me,
guys talk about it like that too, because it's that space of even the small age difference between me and some of you guys. Like I look at it as there's bad stuff from before the internet was really a thing, but there's also a lot of good stuff from that. Like I honestly think that a balance would be better. Certainly professionally, no internet suddenly means I'm a lot more expensive, which is always good for me. But also, like, racists aren't easy to get together because they don't get to talk to each other on the internet all day. The annoyances that some people are by sharing stuff that you don't want to hear about, that kind of goes away, you know. But yeah, you lose things. But I think it'd be interesting because you'd have, you know, the Double Toasted situation. I think Double Toasted as a TV show would probably have happened, you know, without the ability to stream on the internet. But would it have this community that it has now? No, because we couldn't talk to each other. I mean, yeah, fan clubs existed back then, but fan clubs didn't have meetups.
You had to mail stuff.
Yeah, you had to mail stuff in places. Like I remember the DC fan club in the back of every comic book as a kid. Like, and you had to mail stuff in to become a part of it, and they would send you this card and stuff. I was like, I'm not doing all that, man. I don't want to do that. And so, like, yeah, that kind of stuff would suck, but also, man, there's too much wonder, there's too much connectivity that helps us all. You can find out right this second exactly how much it would be to fly to another country and spend a month there.
Yeah, and the biggest thing too. Oh, wait, go ahead, Ruth. I'm sorry, man.
I was gonna say, like, and you could find people who speak English in that other country that could help you get around, and you could, you know, you would know them before you ever left. Like, that's insanely amazing. It's a wonder. It's a miracle when you think about it, and no one talks about it. Like that's why I say, like, the internet's very useful in that fashion.
I feel like the internet has.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bud.
I feel like the internet has connected us in ways, like you said, that we never would have dreamt of 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But at the same time, I keep looking at how socially we've degraded, so to speak. Because you've got people doing shit online for likes and clicks. Like this beauty blogger that I've seen some of her videos. It was publicized today that she's been faking her Instagram photos. She's been faking the funk of this like lifestyle of like, oh yeah, I'm traveling to all these places across the world. I've been to the Taj Mahal. Oh, this is me in New York in last week. And it turns out she's been faking the fucking photos. She's been photoshopping herself, very expertly photoshopping herself into these photos. And she's got like
I just want to bring up like just one point because like everybody always say that like they blame the internet for these type of things. I'm in the thing like I blame society more so because if society wasn't so like fucked up, because everybody wants fucking self-validation. People would try to get it if the internet was here or not.
Jackass was around.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But people will be trying to get self-validation, yes. But the internet has made it easy because it's made us believe that anyone can become famous. Anyone can. I mean, really, think about it. Anyone can go viral.
Yeah, that happened back in the, LA exists because of that exact same mentality. I get what you're saying, Bugs, that this has made it easier, but that's like nothing, no human invention that has ever been created has ever been 100% good. There's always been the bad with it. But it's just like, you take the good and like Rutha said, it's almost a miracle. We're more connected than we've ever been in the history of humanity. Everybody on Earth knows that everybody else on Earth exists. That has never happened. And yes, you have people that'll take advantage of that at photoshopping themselves on the moon, saying, yo, check out my Instagram. But then you also have like charities that never would have gone anywhere if people didn't have a chance to donate from across the world. You would have not known all of the crises that happen across the earth if you didn't have people blogging about it, you know?
No,
Shit, I'll go further.
Next summer, DT anniversary, Mars. We're doing it. Let's go.
No, but Birdman, what you're saying, I'll go further. My whole profession wouldn't exist because a lot of people's tolerance towards marijuana and just drugs in general from the last 10, 15 years is thanks to the internet and people actually getting a hold of studies and the actual people that do experiments with these drugs through the internet. And when they would have to depend on Time magazine or I'm trying to think of the other magazines and newspapers back then.
High Times.
Not High Times because that's bullshit. Like I'm talking about like legit sources that you can get now about marijuana and other drugs. So it's made people more tolerant. And not only that, my job actually uses the internet to regulate our system. So for example, we got hacked maybe like 4 months ago, and it shut down our entire system, like from all the way to Las Vegas to us in Denver. And all that shit's running through the internet, and the government wouldn't be able to keep track of our taxes, our sales profit, all the stuff that's necessary to keep us from being raided by the DEA through that internet service. So it would affect me 100% if the internet wasn't around.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this. Like, granted, like it does make it sound like a first world problems and stuff like that. But it's at the same time, people blame PewDiePie. It's like, oh, why are these kids running to people like him, PewDiePie? I'm like, won't you examine the reason why they're running to him in the first place? Like, it's like people like run to him for a reason because they feel more comfortable. And more
I think people blame the internet because it's a new media when they forget a lot of people talk shit about the radio, newspapers when they first came out,
books,
TV, books. They used to burn motherfucking books back in the old days.
They used to think books was gonna be. They used to think books was gonna be the downfall of the youth. People look it up in research back in like way back.
I'll go even further. Any sort of education was a fucking devil's worship.
I know. If you shared like information like history, the fact that history exists is a big thing because a lot of people keep their history and their cultural stuff to themselves. And without the internet, you wouldn't have a whole encyclopedia of all this shit now.
I mean, we have people that. Well, there's people pissed off at my library right now in my whole system because that fucking Teen Vogue article that they decided to publish to teach kids how to do fucking anal sex. I disagree with the article. I disagree. I think the Teen Vogue should not have done it. However, we're not going to censor them. We're not going to sit there and take that magazine out of our libraries. Well, as you can imagine,
you got
a bunch of pissed off. No. We have a bunch of pissed off right-wing mothers. This isn't blasphemy. I'm like, we're not going to censor that. So, of course, the magazine goes missing because someone stole it.
Yeah. Someone wants to have some personal reading.
Because somebody didn't have internet, and that's the thing.
they wanted an in-depth study.
Yeah.
I think someone stole it to throw it away or burn it or whatever.
It is stupid.
Wait,
but
that's your go-to mentally that you think they took it to burn it and not to go put their dick in between it? Like, hold on, that's not how this world works.
No, because like you said, there's censorship. This is a fucking library with physical copies of books and magazines and newspapers, and you would be surprised how many people come in there. This kind of filth should not exist in this library. Bitch, you don't get to tell us what we do and do not put in this library.
You know what they should do, actually? I've been meaning to say this on a show. I just never found a place to say it. But you know what they should do? Is someone go make this and give me money for it, because this is a great idea. You know those pop-up books from back in the day where you open it up and it's like a dinosaur, like, poof, it pops up and all that shit? They should make porno books like that, where just a big vagina comes out. And while you're reading, you get to fucking...
little fucking shit.
Yeah.
Nick, someone beat you to that idea already, actually.
Yeah, but hold on. Bugs, that already happens? Where? Send me that shit privately.
Any porn shop.
No, but I want to go back to the question because with Skull Post, I notice a lot of people give the internet shit for this reason about reaction channels. Do y'all forget like all like the America's Funniest Home Videos, all the send in your video shit that people did in the 90s and 80s?
The prank shows that used to exist?
Prank shows. Like, a reaction has started on TV, guys. Right now, there's Rob Dyrdek and Josh 2.0. All they do is search the internet and make fun of people on the videos. So this shit's been around for fucking ever since MTV approved the Jackass people almost.
Yeah, like you said, like it's making people feel like they like been lonely or they can't make friends. I'm not saying don't blame the internet. Like I said, what did we do as a society where we made people feel like they can't make friends or they have to?
Just think of how many people that are manic depressive and who actually probably commit suicide. I hate to go this dark because they didn't have a way to interact with people that they feel close to or respect their culture or their type of hell. Even the fact like Star Wars. Like I remember when I had to keep that shit on the down low.
No, but the one thing that I will say, I mean, I guess we'll get off the topic, but the thing that kind of bothers me is, like, I mean, and it's weird because people can be like, oh, Nick, you're one of those motherfuckers, but I feel like we're having, like, de-evolution right now. Like, we're going right back to, like, caveman mentality. There's literally people that make money on just going on camera and eating and people watching them. This is no different than back in the day in the 90s where that one weirdo would go into a fucking, like, coffee shop and just stare at a girl that they like. Oh, yeah, drink that coffee. Fuck, yeah. Oh. And it's like, he would go to jail back then. Now, that's okay.
You portrayed it like as a creepy dude. Now let's go to the food channel where they're joking around. Oh, look at this parfait. That looks delicious. They zoom in on the parfait. They get all the good angles, and then we see the guys eat as they talk for like 5 minutes.
Are we gonna forget all the man versus food show types like that? Like those.
There's no difference, man.
I get what you get, Nick, as well. There's always that creep factor that exists, but that creep factor would exist even without the medium that allows it to happen.
But people are so like, and me and Anthony was arguing. I hate I'm trying not to because I know me and you differ a lot, Anthony, so like I'm not trying to fight with you or anything, so don't get mad. But like, you and I, we disagree on the whole fucking because you're always like, be open with sexuality. Oh wait, what's up,
Hold on, Nick. Are we just gonna pretend hot ass Nigella Lawson is not on television with food all the time? Like, I mean, I'm okay with this conversation, but I like Giada and Cheyenne, however you say your last name, is not on TV selling you food with like the sexiest possible looks at you in the camera. Come on, man.
No, Nigella Lawson, her little
Nigella's a bad girl.
She would make me turn gay.
Anyway, Nick had a point.
Anthony, like me and you, we always argue because you do this thing where it's like, no, like you should be open with sexuality, be open with your interests, whatever. It's gotten to a point where it's so like, and I know like we have a different idea of what weird is. We shouldn't like insult people, and make people feel like they're lesser than us for saying that they're weird. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like. There's people that are totally cool with watching videos. I mean, I've seen them on Facebook where people are getting killed. Literally, people are like getting like their head smashed by a fucking train, and it's getting 150,000 likes because people like to see that shit. This is stuff that's like, I mean, it's almost like I can see people doing this shit on purpose just for the money. I mean, even if Facebook Killer has done this shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's just you see that, you see like.
But see, that's the problem with society. People doing shit like that on purpose. For the clicks, likes, and money, and it's like
that's why you need to silence people,
Like the kids. What?
What? That's why you need to silence the people.
Well,
okay, because I
just picture Nick on the balcony like this.
Rule 1 to be a dictator: never oppress the people.
That's like all those stupid teenagers that like, I'm gonna fight this bitch and we gonna put it on the YouTubes. It's like,
man, stupid people have always existed, man. Like that's my problem. That's my problem with people on the internet. They keep thinking, oh shit, because of the year we're in now, kids magically became dumb about 5 years ago. Kids have always been stupid.
But no, and I agree with you. I fucking agree with you that stupid kids are always gonna be stupid. But I'm saying that the technology has made it. For me, it's amplified it because I'm like, damn, and I say, and I'm gonna be honest, had this shit existed when I was a teenager, yeah, my classmates would probably do some stupid shit. They probably filming themselves doing a blowjob or some shit like that. Or
my dad said all the time, there might be a Polaroid with his dick out there somewhere, boy.
Well, I'm glad social media and YouTube and stuff did not exist when I was at my wildest in college. I think about some of the pictures and Polaroids that might be floating around in someone's attic out there, and I shudder. I'm like, I don't ever want one for public office.
And but that she has digital copies on her computer right now. But
oh no, the hard drive failed. Oops. No, but I'm like, Facebook was invented the year I graduated. And like all of us who graduated, we used our college emails and we signed up for it. And we're like, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's stupid. What's the point of this? If I want to talk to someone, I'll just message them or whatever.
But the whole thing, though, Anthony, because I mean, I didn't want to just like say something, call your ass out on it, whatever. I want you to get your chance to kind of respond to me. So in that thing, it's like
you got, I said like you got a good point. That's kind of like what Black Mirror always presents, like the negative reflection or dark reflection of technology and stuff like that. But I guess you like are right and stuff like that, but it's like it's gonna be fucked up people regardless of what technology you give them and stuff like that. And I agree in the sense that like you probably shouldn't be all out there open, like especially on the fucking internet, because like because like that shit has even bit me in the ass sometimes, where I feel like I'm like comfortable with you guys, and I'm just like telling you guys information, and that should just come back and fuck me in the ass. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you should be a little bit more discreet and stuff like that with your information. But I see it like in the social sense, because I'm just like, yeah, you should be able to just like express who you are, because granted, yeah, sexuality, sex. Okay, everybody on the fucking planet is human beings. We all have sex. It's a thing. It's just a thing. So it's like I feel like why you should like. Of course, that's just me personally.
My thing is like a lot of people that I get this vibe from. It's usually the older generation, like people that like Bugs and Nick's age. Like I feel like you guys are kind of blaming the internet for a lot of the stuff that people have been doing like forever, just because the internet allows more accessibility to see these guys do dumb shit. When before you have to travel to the next town in North Dakota to watch some dude try to jump into like a puddle of water this big.
Yeah, thank you, Ganja. Like, I'm glad me and Ganja actually see eye to eye on this, because I think the same thing. I blame society more so than the internet.
Well, I love history. I love history, so you see this through a lot, like history books and people that talk about their time. They always criticize the new thing, and I'm just seeing that happening with our generation.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, though. No, it is time. I know we've been all emotional talking about all this crazy stuff and the whole thing. Oh God, the internet, yeah, and the whole thing. Actually, it's on 90s, which he doesn't emote that much. But, but the thing is,
man. So I'm sad and shit.
Leave 90s on. I love my 90s.
I didn't do shit anyway. I don't know what fucking everybody talking shit about me. But the thing is, though, it's time to emote in a different sense. It's time to fucking just flip out, because people are finally happy they got some water in the fucking desert. But Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh, wait, Toy Story.
Hey!
Yes.
It'll come out in early 2030.
Or 2018.
I'm just gonna say this really quick, because I'm gonna back out a little bit. I'm gonna shut my ass up. This fucking trailer sucked. I am sorry. The shit was stupid. I'm sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry, Allie.
Hey, don't say that.
Shit don't look good. It looks like the same old shit. Toy Story, they literally had to have Toy Story to help them out to be fucking cool. That's what got people talking, is that the Toy Story shit looks cool. But you know what? I'm gonna shut up. Y'all take it. I'm done.
I want to like share, like, since because like most people here are probably gonna like it actually more. So I actually want to hear the opposite opinion, because Ruthless, from what I was seeing in the chat, you didn't like this trailer either.
Yeah, I don't like Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry. You're just never going to get me to say positive things about it. This did look, like, gameplay-wise, looked a little bit more like Final Fantasy 15, so maybe I will.
Almost like Garden Warfare in a way.
Yeah, but it's not even the cutesiness. Like, that doesn't bother me. I've played games that have that feel, but there's just nothing interesting about these games. It's like, all right, we're going to give you a game-long advertisement for every Disney movie and a story that has no sense. And you are going to need literally like books to figure out exactly what's going on and which order things happen in. It's just, I'm sorry, it doesn't look interesting. It doesn't look interesting in the slightest.
And here's the thing, though, because I want to throw this at Allie, and before, because I know you're probably on the defensive, like, well, what the fuck? What am I going to say now? You guys are talking shit. But I will say this really quick: is if you're into the books, if you read the books, this is just rewarding to you. This is like a fucking like achievement trophy. Like, okay, you know what? You're into this. Here you go. Congratulations, you got what you want. So, Allie, what do you feel about this trailer? Go ahead and just go on off with your nerd.
Well, I feel that overall the trailer was underwhelming, but I do feel like visually the game looks freaking awesome and amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the graphics, I'm really impressed. It's almost like I'm watching a Toy Story movie.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's like Pixar animated it. I'm really impressed with that. So, speaking like graphically, it looks freaking awesome. And then like, control wise, it's very similar to Kingdom Hearts 2, which I prefer. I hate the first game because controls were like freaking wonky.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, it seems like a lot of the same thing, except maybe a little bit different in what you can do with your powers and so on. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. Like, a part of me is like, how hard is this gonna be? But I'm kind of curious to see like where are they gonna go in this story, whatever the story is. And yeah, because I can't tell you. Can anyone tell the story?
No. I literally looked up a game trailers where they actually break down like with all the spinoffs, the PSP version, and I'm so glad that I'm around people that's finally admitting it that Kingdom Hearts story is fucking convoluted as hell.
Like 15 different consoles. Like, did they spread out every console that ever existed? Like the story.
Used to be like a middle school, high school, people be like, no, it does make sense. You just gotta like really dig into it. I'm like, no, it does not. Like Kingdom Hearts, that shit is convoluted as hell. But like I said,
but they do not prioritize the storytelling. I feel
no, they don't. Yeah, like, it's more action combat and stuff like that, and it's more about. Like Kingdom Hearts, the first one came at a time because I know everybody in this call, or most of us, that grew up with like those VHS tapes, those big bulky Disney tapes. Yep. They used to watch Lion King, all these Disney movies. We grew up with these properties. So when Kingdom Hearts came out, granted you get your anime, weeaboo Final Fantasy shit, but you also get to play in these magical worlds that you used to watch on these tapes, like Little Mermaid. You get to like swim with Little Mermaid. You get to like go in Andy's room with like Toy Story. You get to like battle the Colossus and Hercules. Like it was just like this like fan thing where you just like you finally get to interact with these characters. Plus Sora and like just his story was just like really like connected to a lot of like gamers and stuff like back in the day. So that's what I'm saying. I think it just like came at a perfect time where it just kind of capitalized on that stuff because people always love Disney. People love fucking Disney. So to actually play in these worlds and actually flesh them out, I think that's the big fucking appeal, like huge fucking appeal.
It's funny you mentioned Final Fantasy because that's why I kind of always stayed away from the Kingdom Hearts because I'm like, it's just Final Fantasy with Disney characters. I don't fucking like Final Fantasy, so why would I play Kingdom Hearts? But I was just checking out this trailer. I'm like, I'm actually loving the gameplay. Like Ruthless said, this looks just like Final Fantasy 15, and I fucking love that game. So I'm almost more interested, not because of the story. I'll just fucking YouTube the cutscenes or some bullshit if I want to figure it out. But the gameplay actually looks really impressive.
No, and I think that's cool too. Like, because I mean, there's really not so much. I mean, we all want to play it, obviously. You know, I mean, it doesn't look that great, but I mean, I'll play anything. If I can play a Call of Duty game, I can give this shit a fucking chance. So, but the thing is, though, it's like that wasn't the only thing from D23. I didn't even know D23 was even happening. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of advertisements for that.
No, that's the funny thing about it. Like I said, like we was doing the MCA plan and shit like that. It was just like, oh yeah, D23 happened. We was just like, okay.
I honestly thought that was like a rave band or some shit you guys were talking about.
D23, yeah. Or Eminem's band. What was that fucking thing called? D12.
Oh, D12.
Yeah.
That was confusing here.
But here's the thing, though, is then they have this shit over here, this Last Jedi fucking behind the scenes thing, or whatever, and I'm like, that's great. No, this is great and everything too. Who gives a fuck about them? We know they're filming.
Everybody, dude. Like those behind the scene things are fucking. People will froth at the mouth the idea to see.
No, someone right now is just beating their meat to the pictures.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you might not be into it. And honestly, I'm not into it. It depends. I'm not into it either. But people are fucking crazy about behind the scenes on Star Wars. Like.
Yeah, just because there's so much like effort that goes into like creating all these characters in this world. So it's really interesting to see like what their process is behind the scenes.
I hate to say this, and this makes so much sense now, and I'm gonna get so much flack for saying this. But if you like Star Wars, you're somewhat of a film snob. Like, because it's just like a lot of fans that like that type of stuff. They're just like really good about film.
Well, let's
and
ask.
Like, this prosthetics and all that stuff. Like I can totally see it.
Okay,
if you're too into Star Wars, I think you might be a snob.
Because he didn't say much on the last thing. But Justin, speaking of film snobs, you tell us about the Star Wars thing. Because like, here's the thing too, and I'm gonna ask a film snob in this sense. Were you a little disappointed that they didn't show another trailer or more of a look? Because people are talking about how great Luke Skywalker. What's his fucking name?
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, they're saying this is his best performance yet. Like, I mean, everyone's like just going nuts about people who've seen what he's done so far. So, do you feel like we need another behind-the-scenes video, whatever the fuck, or you wanted a trailer?
I'm at the point in most trailers that the less I know about a movie going in, the better. Just like, it's nice to see this behind-the-scenes stuff. It's nice to see, they're putting a lot of effort into. It's okay. It looks so weird watching people run with those prop lights.
Is she running in slow motion? Because I think that's hilarious.
No, you know what? They didn't do a CGI effect. She's really running slow.
It's more dramatic this way.
No, but it's fun to see this kind of stuff, and I'm just glad that it's not plot details. I don't want to see any more plot stuff. I just want to see. Okay, look, you're making the movie. You're teasing some images. That's fine. and then I'll just wait for the movie to come out. You know, I'm sure I'll probably watch the next trailer when it comes out, but I'm better off not knowing.
Yeah, what the fuck's happening here? Like, whoever edited this, they got like 5 different pieces of footage.
No, Kylo Ren is clearly doing a rap battle, and he's making, John Boyega laugh his ass off, and he's gonna diss him back, man.
No,
it's clearly right there.
No, it's funny too, because over here you see that little Chinese lady like, "Oh, I love this trailer!" Like,
oh Jesus Christ,
that's not racist at all.
I don't think Kylo Ren and John Boyega are in the same scene. I think those are 2 different scenes.
Let me spit my hot bus next.
Oh wait, shit, that was John Boyega right here.
Yeah, that's John Boyega.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think they're the same scene. I don't think they're the same scene.
Oh, Nick, I did the exact same shit you just did. I did not realize he was there.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
What kind of this is a horror movie where man, these 2 are in a horror movie where they hold up a picture and then you're supposed to see this ghost in the background.
Because like I just thought it was just Kylo Ren there, and like fucking like man, that's gonna sound racist, but John Boyega was blending in with the darkness.
Hey man,
oh my god,
I didn't know he was there.
It was clearly John Boyega.
I thought it was Viola Davis.
Nobody outside the main host is dead.
Joking, but now he just disappear.
Don't tell that story.
I'm not. I'm looking at that.
Look at you, even Viola Davis is laughing. He's like, oh
shit, Nick, I can't believe we just.
I feel like one of those like look closer videos, like look at you see John Boyega in the photo, and then the moment you get closer, they're just like, bah!
He just turns into a Where Was Waldo, like my John Boyega in the
old early 2000s sites where people posted pictures of ghosts in their house and shit. And you had to look like really squinty to see like images.
I'm gonna be laughing about this shit for a while because you was just gonna say John Boyega, John Boyega. I'm like, where is he at? Like, I was. Oh man, but no,
that
like
fucked.
Yeah, that is fucked up. No, but like you were saying, Justin, yeah, I was glad that they showed you all the prosthetics, all the miniatures, all the stuff, all the filming, all the techniques that was going into it. But they were very, very hush hush on the story. All they were doing is just saying like good buzzwords, like, oh my god, they're doing different things. The story's going in different directions. Everything's going to be unique. You're going to see this movie. You're going to fucking see it.
They kind of have to say that.
Yeah,
imagine behind you. Man, that's the same shit you already saw. I don't know anyone's gonna watch this fucking movie. That's all CG. That guy's high. Like, of course they're gonna stop the movie up.
Transparent for once, like an E3 or just like movie trailers. Like, hey, it's another system. Hey, this is another Star Wars.
I honestly want that to happen one day, where some guy goes, "This is a CGI cutscene. This isn't real." We just made all the shit up, honestly.
It just did it. So like, and like I said, it looked cool, like the music in the background, and. I don't know about you guys because everybody always says that out of the original trilogy, Empire Strikes Back is like the best movie out of all 3 of them.
No.
So I'm hoping that this is the Empire Strikes Back of the new one because, like, from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's gonna be really fucking cool.
But I don't want it to be. Let's not have it be a ripoff.
Not saying like
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'm talking about in terms of quality. We look back and say, "Damn,
yeah, I'll put those lightsabers on you real quick, bitch. We don't want
don't do it."
No, it'll be like Star Trek Into Darkness. Don't worry, guys. It's not Khan. It's not Wrath of Khan, and then it turns out to be Wrath of Khan. Don't worry, it's not Empire Strikes Back. It's Empire
I
Strikes
can't
Back.
wait to talk about spoiler talk about that shit.
No, but that's the thing too. Just thinking about all this, like I like how people were like, "Oh man, like, The Force Awakens is just like A New Hope," and I'm just like, "Well, yeah, but like every fucking Star Wars movie is like the one, and all of them like before it, like so it's like just be happy. You like Star Wars. You're gonna be mad that they're making a newer version of the shit that you already saw that you loved. Be happy. Be like, fuck yeah, dude, I got a modern version of the shit that I was nerding out about when I was a kid. Like,
don't worry, be happy, y'all.
I think that just the people instead of like a lot of criticism was saying is, expand the actual universe because. Yeah. When the movies weren't existed, that's what the fans did. The fans created their own bullshit and expanded the whole universe. But now we're just still focusing on like the 10 people that we know, and people want to see more shit.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I'm gonna say it right now too. I want this to be another Empire Strikes Back. Like, I mean, I don't give a fuck about you trying to do new shit with your stupid ass Force storyline. Whatever the fuck.
I think you just want it to be as good as it. I think that's what you're getting at.
God, I wish I could choke his ass out right now.
No, they need to do that shit.
See, if we were on Skype, that would have worked. Skype has that feature now. You can force choke people.
No, but I'm gonna ask you, Ellie, and then I'll go around the whole call. Whatever. But like, what do you feel like if this did become like another Empire Strikes Back, whatever? Would you be hyped for it, or would you be like, oh, you know what, I didn't like it because blah blah blah?
It's not that it probably still would like it. I mean, if it's still good, but at the same time, it's like I would be disappointed because I gave Force Awakens a pass because we're kind of like reintroducing Star Wars back into like, for the general audience. So I get why they needed to sort of like do something that was familiar for people. But if they continue to do that and it literally is just a ripoff of Empire Strikes Back, I will be really disappointed. Because it just shows like they really don't have anything. They don't have anything creative. They're just really just still piggybacking off of the old series rather than expanding, rather than creating something new, a new story. Yep. And it's just, the Star Wars is such like a huge universe. You can do whatever the heck you want. It's like, why are you still sticking to the same old story, the same, like you said, these same characters? It's like, do something new. People will like it. It's Star Wars,
The thing is, though, it's funny. You're saying that, and I'm at one more movie away from saying, okay, y'all motherfuckers think that this shit is like a whole big universe. All I've been told from 7 movies now, 7 of them, all I've been told, or actually 8 now, holy shit.
Yeah,
8 movies.
The 8th movie, yeah.
I've been told, been educated from the series that this universe is as fucking big as my room, because for some reason they can't fit fucking more than 8 people in this motherfucker.
Well,
like,
that's kind of the criticism people are getting at. But when she says the universe is big, she means outside the movies. Like you talk about the games, you talk about
there's so many
some
planets.
TV shows,
Yeah, there's so many planets, and there's just like there are different parts of history in the Star Wars universe that they can like, even with like the Legends books and like you said, the games, the TV shows, they show like different characters like that have nothing to do with the Skywalkers anyway. Like that's what would be cool. There's just so many other cool and interesting stories to tell. Or even if people make up a new story, it would still be really cool to see something completely different that has nothing to do with any of the characters we've been introduced to in the previous movies.
Yeah. I think that's why Rogue One was such a cool film. Yes. Because while it does connect you to the original trilogy and then, of course, the prequels, and then later Force Awakens, of course, while it connects all those universes together, it tells you there are other people out here that are struggling in this system of oppression with Darth Vader and the Emperor. There are other people out there who are fighting against this totalitarian regime. And I think that for the new trilogy, what they need to do, they need to find a way of taking it out of there. I mean, yeah, we have Rey, we have what's his name?
Well, that's a great character.
Ben.
What's his name again?
How do you forget the black guy?
FN, whatever his name is. Well, Lando Calrissian's long lost son.
He's all like, good job, man. Right there, good job, Bug.
Carl Lizzie.
Let's be real here. That's what they're setting this up to be. I think they're setting this up to be that he's going to be Lando's long lost son. And
I'd be mad if they
no, Michael B. Jordan's on this movie.
What?
Because he's a spitting image of.
That joke crashed like a fucking airplane.
One person left is good enough for me.
That was fucking great. Y'all
I'm judging the fuck out of that one person too, bro.
Sure, let's just like Viola Davis.
That was a terrible joke. No,
Man,
what I'm saying is that like
that's bad.
when after Force Awakens came out, that was the rumor that John Boyega's character was Lando's son, because he was kidnapped from his parents. His father was whatever. And that was the rumor that he's Lando's son. I'm like, because apparently Lando Calrissian was the only black person in this universe.
Well, there's Mace Windu.
He couldn't have kids since he's a Jedi.
Well, Anakin did.
And look how that turned out.
So true.
That's why we like that.
The Jedi who decides to have kids has 2 badass children, and the Jedi still decide to not have any kids among them. Like, that's the reason why you failed over and over again. Whatever. We're not getting into the Star Wars discussion. I know.
No, Rufus, you and I need to have this discussion later on, though.
Why?
That's the very reason why I
you
like
guys can have a
that.
discussion later on. Okay.
That's the very reason why I like that joke that that Corey made on the show, where he always talks about Star Wars. Like he would say, like it's a galaxy far, far away, but he's like, no, it's more like a neighborhood far, far away. Because it's always these short amount of people. So
it's like a sitcom almost. Like
yeah, it is. Like it really is. Like it is starting to like weigh down. It's just like we always see. Like granted, Force Awakens, like you even said it, Nick, that you not even being a Star Wars fan, you actually digged Force Awakens. But
even that point
even
when
when
Han Solo comes in, and it's that typical sitcom thing where Kramer walks in the door and everyone's like, "Woo!"
Yeah, exactly. Like
Kramer's
It
in
kind
the
of
house.
was.
it was like it's like you still like granted Force Awakens was a good movie, but you still get tired of those little references that connected back, and it's just like we don't need that. Like let's move beyond the Millennium Falcon, move beyond Han Solo, move beyond the Skywalkers. Let's go to a galaxy far fucking away.
That's what I was really afraid of when Disney took over Lucasfilm. Is that like even though like hey, Force Awakens, yay, okay, great. Oh, Han Solo's in it. Okay. Luke Skywalker. Oh, Princess. Oh, Chewbacca. Oh, we got R2. We got C-3PO back.
Carrie
Like
Fisher.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher. It's like all these people. It's like I wanted something new. Like that's what I was afraid of, because then they had Star Wars Rebels, Empire again going against the Empire. They had a Star Wars Battlefront. What's it centered on? Rebels versus the Empire.
Yeah, it's all there.
Like, guys,
I mean,
there's more. Like there's more you can do without you guys. Oh, like all the comics too. Lando's got his own comic. Got Darth Vader's comic. You got of course the Star Wars comic with Luke, Leia, all of them in it. It's like, well, guys, do something different.
Well, how about
I was
this?
so
They got
afraid that they were going to just like not even. They basically only a little bit mention the prequels, which I know people don't like them, but they have some interesting premises in there. Like there's stuff they could expand upon. Make that. I think that's what needs the most help. If anything, is the prequels to make that more cool.
Not only that, Alan, but they completely ignore shit that's like neatly and tied up, like the BioWare products. That they can easily work with BioWare to use the IP of KOTOR, especially that Disney, how they've grown as a company and got like friendly with EA, who actually owns it. They would easily incorporate that shit into a movie, and it actually works because it follows the same beats as the original Star Wars, but it's so different and vast in the universe, and you have so many different characters that you almost forget that it's about beat by beat, because it gives you an epic feel throughout it.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the reason they got rid of all that shit, like including the extended universe and all that crap.
No, they're slowly hinting in the Rebel show and a few other products that KOTOR might be canon.
Yeah, but it lets them cherry pick. You wipe the slate clean, and now you cherry pick what's good, because there's a lot of crap in the extended universe that no one wants to talk about.
It's true.
But but it's also one of the things that I think the reason it's so familiar, the Star Wars movie now, is because they're restarting a franchise in the movie universe. I think once they finish, this trilogy, then we'll start seeing the different stuff, especially in the back to every prequel, every single in-between movie being a fucking prequel before the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, and a big
I hope
is,
so.
Like, we've discussed so much about how like this world is so small and everything. But now, one thing I will give Disney this. I'm sorry, dude. I
just wanted to mention one thing. That was the very reason why I hated that they canceled Star Wars 1313, because that seemed completely original. Like it was going to like tackle the Star Wars like dirty, disgusting criminal underground.
I think it's coming back. I think it's
Star Wars 13. Is this like Star Wars ODST?
Like,
no, it's a Boba Fett story, and it's supposed to be the first rated M like Star Wars game. So it's that whole thing you've always wanted of a rated R Star Wars movie, which they'll never do. They might do an M rated Star Wars game where some sort of guts or blood or whatever the hell they can do in that. I think it's gonna come back because EA is working on a third person Star Wars game, so it might not be exactly 1313, but I think it's gonna be a spiritual successor to it.
Like the criminal underground, like go into the criminal underground of Star Wars, like bounty hunters, all these like creatures and shit like that. I thought that was gonna be really fucking like fascinating, but they canceled it. So I hope you're right, Alan. I hope they bring it back.
I think it's come back.
But go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just gonna say it because I'm really happy that like we're talking shit about how Disney and even Star Wars or whoever is involved in this, Lucas Arts, whatever the fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
like they're doing this thing where this world is so small. But you know what though? Like we complain, Anthony, you always do this. Solutions. We got solutions, motherfucker. It's your choice. Disney reveals them. Well, fine, take it away then, video. Like
a whole new world.
Yes, man. No, it's a Star Wars land.
Is no one gonna make jokes about Alan singing A Whole New World?
Nope.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
No,
Yeah.
The funny thing is like Alan sings all the time, and this shit is worse than my shower singing. It's fucking awful. I love this. I'm sorry. I will always love you. No, but anyways.
Just kicking the man while he's down. Damn.
Oops, I did it again. No, but hey, the thing is though, oh, that's fucked up. No, this whole thing, I don't know why this is a big deal, and I like how they stole Disney Star Wars Land before they made like Super Mario Land a thing.
Oh yeah, no, I think they're doing it only in Japan. I think this is going to be America. So I think
Yeah, what they're doing is because I went to the LA party, and actually I'm not bragging here. I just went and did it because I always wanted to go to Disneyland. I know it's slave, but fuck it. I went to Disneyland, and they're having this event there when I was out there, and I got to show. I sent Allie a bunch of pictures. It was like 25 years of Star Wars, and they were doing a lot of previews and stuff that was going to come up. And one of the biggest thing they showed us was this exhibit of like the new Star Wars land that's going to be developed in Orlando. And basically what they're going to have is going to have it's going to be like I think a Trader's Frontier. So it's going to have a Mos Eisley feel with a little bit of a city vibe with it. And you're going to walk around and just explore with characters. There's going to be a few rides. But the biggest thing here that's got people excited because, you know, it could be just another Disneyland park, but apparently everything's going to be like a role-playing game while you're there. Like, I don't know if
XP if I walk around the block.
No, you're joking, but that's true.
So wait, it's gonna be Westworld then.
Pretty much, they got the premise from Westworld, and basically what they have in Disneyland now are these bracelets that you can use to get fast passes and stores your information if you like buy the food stuff. And basically, what they're gonna do is they're gonna track your riding through the different rides and stuff, and different experiences through this same thing. And it's gonna basically how you interact with different characters. So, example of Allie, for example, she loves the Empire. If your ass rode a bunch of Empire rides, sided with the Empires on small missions, you would be treated a lot differently by Rebels venues and Rebel stores, and to the point that they're even talking about possibly not serving you because you're part of the.
I think that's a problem.
Wait,
I think that's a very big problem.
There's also the bracelet also lets you.
Someone is going to yell race.
I know.
Yeah.
This is all plans, though, from what I read from bloggers and stuff coming out. So I don't know how 100% this is all ruthless.
The bracelet also lets you know if the person you're hitting on and on a date with is actually related to you.
There's this really cool ride where they chop off your hand and then give you the robotic one.
I love the idea what they're doing with their hotel because I don't know if anyone here has been to Disney World, but they have like customized hotels for different themes.
Yeah.
And they're apparently going to design a hotel from the ground up that's all Star Wars, where everybody treats you like you're a Star Wars character. So instead of being called guest, they call you a citizen. And not only that, like all hotel staff have to treat you like you're in the Star Wars universe. So I don't know how that's going to go for so long.
Oh man, Mom, we're going to
Where is the Sith hotel?
I would imagine the people that would go to that are the same ones who go to that restaurant where they insult you, where they pay to have the staff insult you. You go.
How is that the same thing?
I'm saying is that you go expecting this experience. You're paying for this experience.
Right.
So I don't really see a lot of people going and being ticked off and being like, oh, he called me citizens. My name is Doctor.
Man, you know there's gonna be one freaking dumb person that doesn't get it.
I need to put this out there.
Oh, this person won't accept me at this bar or whatever. They're gonna put it on YouTube, and they're gonna be like, "Is Disney racist? Oh my God, you guys!" It's like,
wait, Allie, something.
No, they'll be made to feel dumb.
It's like somebody called me a scruffy-looking nerd.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take it personally.
That's
like,
another
really,
thing I'm glad you brought up, Allie. This is going to be apparently be one of the few places that you can actually drink at. They're going to have special alcohol.
Oh, damn.
That's not a good combination.
That's a terrible idea. People are going to think they're fucking rebels in that
The most important question is, will there be blue milk?
Ha!
Yeah, that seems like an easy thing to do.
And death sticks.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna have fights in the street between Rebels and the Empire, man. It's gonna be great.
I'm getting some death sticks.
No, get it right, Alan. There'll be fights in the streets between Scum and the Sith Empire. That's how that works.
I'm just gonna be one selling the death sticks there.
Hell yeah, you already know it. My favorite part though is I read the last bit of that article, and they're talking about like, you know, every room they guarantee like, oh, you have a view of this, a view of that. You'll see the park in the distance. Their thing is like, we're guaranteed that every guest will see space from their window. So I'm just picturing like this bougie ass wallpaper. They're just putting it on top of the windows.
No, they're gonna go all out and launch you into space. An hotel with it.
No,
hotel's really on Mars.
No, but here's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't even know. Like, you guys making jokes. Like, I don't fucking like Star Wars. I don't know, man. Like, Darth Vader. Yeah, like You're gonna have an aspiration line.
Hotel, you'd be the first one there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be the one that's like, wait, why can't I get a fucking chocolate milk at the goddamn,
Oh, I swear to God, I wanted to go to Universal just to ride the Transformers ride in your name.
Hey man, if you do that shit, that's gonna be the last night that you'll be alive.
Boo.
Yes.
Damn, Nick. 0 for 2 tonight.
Nice. But here's the thing, though. And man, I'm just clicking on random shit over here. I'm sorry, y'all. And this, Anthony, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, man.
Is it going off? Is it raining?
No, but just to do this, because here's the thing too. In the YouTube chat, when we first started, there was one guy, I forgot his name, but he was just like, "Hey, like, do the shit that I came here for. Like, I'm not subscribed to Midnight Chat Tech. I want to know when you guys gonna show that Lion King fucking trailer. When you guys gonna show the Aladdin trailer? We're not gonna show it. We can't find the shit.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
This is why you this shit.
No, when you find the link, let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because because apparently they showed that. Apparently they showed some Dumbo footage as well.
Dumbo live action movie. That's gonna be great.
Like Dumbo, and then apparently the Avengers Infinity Wars, they got that look too. Yeah. Which apparently that trailer won't be dropping until November. So I'm gonna lose my collective shit when it actually drops.
I will blow my load on Infinity Wars. I really will.
Yeah. Hey, Bugs.
Exactly.
Not a great image. But hey, the thing is though, I feel like
and no one laughed at that shit either.
Wait, what? Wait, you gotta lower your speakers, girl. Oh, wait,
Echo.
Someone else.
In the name of the MCA, we will rise again. Damn, why y'all have to cut Echo off?
No, like that's the thing.
Oh, that's you echoing.
No,
is it? No, I think
it's okay. It's all good now. Whatever. The thing is, that's why I was like, kind of like, what the fuck's going on? Everyone's voice is like doubling. But the thing is, though, over here, and this is the only because I don't have no video footage. We can't find the shit. Okay. But Will Smith apparently is going to be, I don't know what the fuck. You know what, Anthony, you take this shit because I don't give a fuck about this dirty ass bullshit.
He's gonna be the genie, which is some weird ass casting. Like, to be honest with you, but I guess Will Smith is goofy, so maybe he could do like a really good job. I don't know how they're gonna like CGI his face, like if they're gonna actually make him look like the cartoon genie, like just like update that live action, or it's actually gonna look like Will Smith but genie-fied or whatever. But I don't know. Like, I really don't know. That's all I can say is like some weird ass casting. But I will say this: the guy that they actually picked for Aladdin is actually really interesting because I could have swore that they had the guy from Slumdog Millionaire. I thought he was actually going to be Aladdin. I actually thought I could have swore her some rumors that he was actually going to be Aladdin.
No. So after Lion, he's doing highbrow stuff. Like, I mean, with Will Smith, the casting, like
I can actually see Dev Patel more than this guy.
No, I can see it. I can see it too. But he's not going to do that. But like with Will Smith, he must be desperate.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very desperate. Like. I mean,
he's doing a Disney movie, a big budget
Sure.
Disney.
He got Suicide Squad, but other than that,
Suicide Squad is like one of the.
Yeah, but at least it did well financially, you know. But like all of his other movies have really tanked, so I can see him being desperate.
See, I would understand.
Yeah, like the thing is, he used to be big in the movies. Like he was the summer blockbuster guy, but then kind of fell off because his stardom died. Then he's been trying to kind of get back to that, but is picking bad roles or the smaller indie roles. Now he's like, screw it, I was going to go back to big budget movies.
What was his last big major role? Like
a
whole
movie.
I think it was the.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Oh, yeah,
No. He had one that came out last Christmas with like Helen Mirren.
Collateral Beauty, was it?
Yeah.
Don't talk about
But that's not that's an indie film though. That's not.
I'm talking like
it was Oscar bait. It was Oscar bait.
Yeah, but that's a lot of the movies he was doing. 7 Pounds, which is a piece of crap. I love The Pursuit of Happiness, but.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't like These Are 7 Pounds either. But the thing is, though, is like this character is huge. So I don't know why. That was stupid. But like the whole like Aladdin thing, like this is a huge fucking franchise and a huge IP, and it's like, the fact that he's involved in it, I don't really feel Bugs like the same way you do as far as like him being like, desperate because like, dude, who the fuck would say no to that? I mean, dude, before it was Robin Williams doing that character. Like, this is a huge thing. This is massive.
Well, not only that, this is like
Nick, no, and I agree with you. But the thing is, though, considering what he has been doing lately, this isn't needy. He's been picking either big budget action movies or smaller indie films that are Oscar bait. So this doesn't fit into either of those categories for me. So I'm like, he must be desperate to get back to where he was
Yeah,
before.
he's so desperate. He's taking the Disney money. That's a lot of money because they probably want his voice because he's iconic. Like,
Hey, man, dude needs some money. He needs some income.
I'll just disagree with him being
I don't think
Genie because
I
I don't
don't
think he
even
has
think
that
it's about the
flair
money
Robert
for him.
Williams.
No, gotcha. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm just saying I don't think he has a chance to actually pull off Genie because of the kind of style that Robin Williams did to it. He was a comedian. He was a very comedic personal actor. So I don't see Will keeping up with that same kind of like. What are we gonna get? Like a more jokier version of Deadshot?
well, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm getting. That's actually why I'm glad they picked somebody else that's not just trying to do that. Don't do what Robin Williams did because Robin Williams, he did it. Do something different, like Jack Nicholson's Joker versus Heath Ledger's Joker. They're not the same character, but they're different. They're different Jokers.
Yeah, Will Smith is probably playing more like the Broadway show's version of the Genie. It's not quite the same like tone as Robin Williams was setting. So honestly, when you think back to Will Smith on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that's basically what I think you're gonna get is Genie, just less affect to it. So
Yeah, so I don't know, man, but. As far as that goes, I mean, it's really not a whole lot to say. It's just like people are saying the casting's pretty bad. I'm looking at the chat over here too on the DT and everything. People are saying they don't like the casting. And for me personally, it's just kind of like I don't like the whole thing of just like remaking all these fucking movies now. Because now it's getting to a point where people went nuts with this comic book movie bullshit, and it's like everyone's now the same. And Jungle Book was great, but it's like, dude, like that Beauty and Beast was fucking trash beyond trash. Like, you know, it was high dumpster garbage. And
But it made money.
No, it made money, yeah. But, well, then Suicide Squad was the greatest film in the whole fucking world, sweetheart.
Making money.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It did win Oscar.
Yeah, if it's making money, they're gonna keep making more live action.
Yeah,
well, unfortunately, that's why Disney is digging into their back catalog after Maleficent and Cinderella and now Beauty and the Beast. They're going to dig in that back catalog, dust and flies off of a few of their old stuff, and say, what else can we make? I'm telling you right now, next is going to be Snow White.
No,
next is going to be Little Mermaid.
Technically, there's already been two.
No, that was a different.
Lion King. Yeah, it's Lion King and Mulan. Yeah, Mulan.
Mulan is either going to be incredible or a piece of crap.
Dude, I just want him to do
Or
Little Mermaid.
extremely racist.
That's it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. This whole thing with these movies, I just hope that they kind of like find some kind of quality in there. But here's the thing: speaking of quality, I gotta talk about something that's huge, full of quality. And you know what's gonna be part of, Anthony?
Oh
shit!
shit!
Part of? Huh?
What? Tell me.
Flax and chill. I said flax and chill. Ah, that's not good. I said the shit wrong. I said the shit wrong. It's okay. Well, what the? Okay, somebody help him!
Are you clinking?
Yeah, he's gonna fall. Oh, shit. So,
ladies and
that's how
gentlemen,
he
we
broke
lost
his
Anthony.
neck, y'all.
Man,
What just
I
happened?
I have no idea. But here's the thing, though, people. It is flex and chill, and here's the big thing. I like these colors because they have a lot to do with what we're gonna be discussing tonight. Because I would talk about just streaming shit constantly. He's back, by the way. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Why does it look like you rolled into a like dust? Because there's dust all over your shirt, man.
He fell into my cocaine. I'm gonna charge you for that.
But what I did,
Yeah, Anthony, on your right shoulder, you might want to clean that a little.
Yeah.
No, he's looking for the box from the left.
Man, just leave the flex and chill. Goddamn, man. What the fuck, man? It's called Flex and Chill, not a fucking like fashion show. Like,
How dirty is your fucking floor?
Man,
I'm just saying.
Bugs, I would say something to you, but then again, it's gonna be like, it's because I'm black. You making fun of my house?
Like, my house is clean, nigga. What you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but hey, anyways.
I know this bitch ain't trying to front, but anyway, like people like this is like we're gonna be talking about like movies that you actually been watching on Netflix, Hulu, Crackle if you have that, or Amazon Instant TV.
Crackle if you have that.
I always bring up Crackle.
Like anyone Crackle.
Some people like Crackle.
No, they don't. Nobody likes Crackle.
Yes, they do.
It's a couple things. It's a couple.
The name itself, it's like
some people like Crackle. No, some people like Crackle. No, but like I said,
a cheap snack from a fucking Family Dollar.
No, like if you guys have anything that you guys wanted to watch, and I know the big thing, like Nick said earlier, the big thing that we're going to be talking about is the Spider-Man Homecoming spoiler talk. So that's going to be like the big thing right there. So yeah.
But here's the thing, though, because we will get into that and everything too. But here's the thing: we warned y'all last week. Spider-Man Homecoming spoiler talk. I think we've all seen it here, so we're gonna jump on that. So anyway, I'm gonna go like Justin. Have you seen it yet? Or you've seen it? You talked about it last week, right?
Yeah, I reviewed it last week with you guys.
Yeah, cool. Bugs, have you seen it?
I am going to jump out.
All right, cool. Have a great night.
Okay.
Go clean your floor.
Hold up, son. No, my floor's clean.
Okay.
Go around and yeah, you're sure.
Now let me go clean that cat litter. But
you see all this is DVDs you see, not like stuff. All right.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna bounce out because I don't want to be spoiled.
Okay.
Darth Vader shows up at the end with fucking Logan.
Oh man, that was a sick fight.
Yeah, but the thing is though, Spider-Man Homecoming. Now this is obvious that we're gonna bring this up. Now, first off, I want to just give Alan a chance to review this because I'm really curious. Like, did you like the movie, man? What'd you feel about it? And don't worry about spoilers. Say whatever you want. We'll just jump off that shit because. Yeah.
Sure. I walked out of the movie going, you know what? It was all right. It was exactly when I say average and matinee, I don't mean that like there's anything bad with it because I was telling people I think this movie is flawless. I don't think there's a single bad thing in the movie. There's not a single point in the movie where I'm like, that is stupid, that makes no sense, or why the fuck is this here? Like in every of the other Spider-Man movies. But there's also nothing that blew me away, and that's kind of something that disappointed me a little bit because there's no like. When you look at the other Spider-Man movies, there's some big, crazy scene that you remember. Spider-Man 2 has a train sequence. You have the Sandman sequences in Spider-Man 3. This, to me, didn't have anything that really stood out to me as, holy crap, this is so memorable. It's more like, you got it, average, and it was really good, but it didn't blow me away.
Alan, like, just a quick question, because I haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming, but I don't really give a shit about spoilers. But do you feel like you only feel that way because of the oversaturation of Spider-Man? Like, because of the other,
no,
like,
because again, I grew up watching the television shows and playing the games. So what I got there, like, I really enjoyed, and I like Spider-Man for the most part. In the movies, I do expect a little more oomph than in the games, because in the games you fight a lot of henchmen, and there's really not much action. Like the action scenes in here are spectacle action, the shit exploding, him jumping off stuff. He's not really fighting anybody in this movie, and that's kind of something I wish I saw in the movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I felt the same way. And I feel like the CGI was bad. I feel a few things are bad. But, man, like, I'm just going to start off with this, a huge spoiler, though. But, like, I fucking love what they did with Liz and the Vulture. I thought that was really, really... Like, at first, I was mad. I even messaged Allie in the call. I was like, man, this is some fucking bullshit. This shit's stupid. But watching it again, because I watched it twice. And I don't watch new comic book movies twice. I'm like, once, fuck the stupid-ass shit. But that was really, really cool. And, God, the Vulture is such a great, like... scary dad. Like, you know what I mean?
I didn't like that because as soon as that happened, I was like, oh shit. But I'm like, seriously, we're doing this again where every single person Spider-Man knows is related to other people that he knows? Like, this is like the whole Star Wars thing of like, everybody that Peter Parker knows is either a bad guy or gonna die.
But that's what that's Spider-Man comics. That's always
my problem with this character.
Yeah, true, but like if you're a fan of Spider-Man, I don't know if you count yourself as a fan of Spider-Man, but that's something that you need to be prepared for, because that's like me saying like, oh, I hate The Walking Dead for what they do in the comic. Like, dude, the comic, they had to bring in Negan, they had to kill this character, this Asian character, like they had to do it. It's gonna happen.
I know, but it's just like I would have been fine if it was just a random dude that was just because Spider-Man was fucking with him, because the Vulture's not a villain in this. He's kind of a he's not a good guy, but the only reason he does half the shit he does is because Spider-Man starts fucking with him.
He's a hero for the
proletariat. Iron Man specifically.
Well, no. If Iron Man would have known if Spider-Man wasn't fucking with Vulture, that's the only reason any of the movie happens.
Yeah, and Rashad's in the call, by the way. I love when you're in the call. How you doing, Rashad?
I'm doing pretty good.
Cornbread!
Don't do that! Stop calling him that shit.
He does that every time.
Is that like a calling card? Like you just leaned out the farm door, just holler out cornbread, expecting you to answer the door?
I just have a nice batch of cornbread when you come to the door. Here, brother.
It'd be fine if you just called him cornbread and it's cool, but then you get him confused with Ruthless, and then you get me confused between.
No. Correction. He's the only one that doesn't get me confused.
Oh shit!
No. Nick, you have done it. Anthony, you have done it several times. I can't even count.
That's Anthony's fault. Don't blame it on other people. That's Anthony's fault.
Yeah, that's Anthony. That's all you, brother.
What the fuck?
This is bullshit. Gaja paid him off.
I'll take the bad pussy too, bitch.
Holy shit! Did you just see that?
Anthony, no, I'm with you on that shit.
No, that's
I feel like y'all just dropped a ball and I ended up out of nowhere.
These motherfuckers just put the gun on me, and Ganjo's the one that started that shit? No!
That is what you call throwing under the bus.
Wow.
Oh,
I am like
wow.
What the fuck are you doing?
I think he's doing the Macarena.
Like, we see what happens,
Hey, Macarena.
Motherfuckers turn on the nice guy. Motherfuckers always turn on the nice guy.
Yeah, welcome to my life, Anthony.
God damn. That was some bullshit. But anyway.
But Homecoming or something.
Yeah,
No,
so
what was the other villains? Because like I remember like it was like pictures of like Shocker. So was Shocker actually in this? Or no?
Yeah, Shocker's in it, but it's like every villain there, you blink and they're gone.
Damn.
Like, this is just a vulture, you know?
Well, I think it's the problem that they didn't want to do what all the Spider-Man movies have done so far, where they're like, oh, we got to have like 3 or 4 main villains as part of the plot. So it's like, okay, we get a little bit of Shocker. We get the Tinkerer, who we don't even call the Tinkerer at any point in this movie, but that's what he is.
Bad. It's like,
Yeah, and then it's just the Vulture. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but okay, like one thing I want to bring up really quick, because this is a big thing that everyone keeps saying. It's like, oh, like Iron Man's the bad guy. Here's the frustrating thing about this fucking movie that I really couldn't stand, is literally you had the Vulture starting off the movie where he's in this fucking room, like just putting in just junk everywhere, just like, oh, we're doing things obviously because there's a bunch of junk in the fucking house,
sure,
the whole warehouse. And then some lady comes out, don't know her name, comes out there totally saying like, "Oh, we gotta take out this shit because we're the bad guy, obviously, the whole fucking thing." So like, she's leaving, and the only thing they do to tell the big story that it's all Tony Stark's fault is a picture of the man on a fucking TV screen or whatever, showing, "Oh, it's Tony Stark, something, something." And I was like, okay, granted, you told me the story, but you did it in literally 3 seconds. Other than that, there's no reason for him to be the villain except for the fucking screen literally telling you Tony Stark is the bad guy, and that's it. And that is some awful garbage ass storytelling to do that shit before the Marvel logo even comes up. That was amazing.
I don't agree with that. That's effective storytelling. It's economic. You know, it's just like, okay, Tony Stark is not the main villain, but he gets the plot going because then, you know, he's the inciting event of the story. So you know, that's why I.
And I agree with that, but it's a quick jump from I'm a disgruntled construction worker to fuck it, I'm just gonna rob people with a flying like thing of.
Well, I think when it comes to like the terms of his technology and how quickly he came to use it, and it seemed like he was professional. Like they should have probably showed maybe like a successful heist that his crew pulls off, like maybe a quick 2-3 minute thing that would give you more of a concept. Like, oh, they got this down pat. But like in the terms of like not hinting to it, like during that conversation with the U.S. official, he says that a lot of these guys got out of prison, so it shows that he has connections to some people, you know, considered in the criminal underworld, quote unquote, that were trying to go straight, and he was trying to help these people out. So he has the initial ways to get this done. I just hate how they kind of skim over, like, now I'm a badass on the suit, bitch.
Yeah, and there's the thing, too. Like, I'm going to ask you, Allie, what did you feel about the villainous qualities of the Vulture? I mean, was it like a shitty villain to you? Did you feel like, and technically, like, it's a villain type of villain where Tony Stark's a villain. Do you feel like Tony Stark was a good villain in a way? Like, in a sense?
Well, I take it with Tony Stark being, like, the villain was that's how it is in real life too. Like these huge corporations, they'll screw over the little man like all the time, you know. So it's not really anything new. It's kind of familiar in a way that, like, yeah, these people really don't really think that much about people that are directly affected by this. That they're not so, you know, of great esteem or have high up positions in a company. So I think that's very realistic. That Tony Stark, you know, his company, not Tony Stark himself necessarily, but like his company would be like, yeah, you can't do this anymore. And it's like, hey man, I gotta support my family. I gotta support all these guys, and you know, they were trying to, you know, like Ganja said, trying to get straight, you know, have a good life. I see that happening. Like I definitely would see that happening in real life. So I think it's actually like in Tony Stark, he's not necessarily always a good guy anyway. Like, he's done some really terrible things that, hey, because he's so charismatic, he gets away with it. But, like, anyone else, everyone would freaking hate Iron Man, you know? So, I like, it goes with his character. That's kind of how he has been portrayed before in this universe. So, it's not really anything new. Like, you kind of expect it with his company. But, like, the Vulture, I thought he was a really good villain. I was really pleasantly surprised, especially because Marvel has just not had really good villain, like, really memorable, really, like, villains with a lot of depth in the past. The only people I can really think of is, like, Zemo from Civil War or Loki. But like the Vulture's definitely really up there. Like I remember his character. Michael Keaton did a great job, and it really added something, like another layer with him. Like first of all, you really do sympathize because like he's trying to have an honest job, and like it's all that's been taken away, and like you said, he has to support his family, doesn't know what to do. So you instantly sympathize with this guy. You can see he's not a terrible human being.
And the thing is, like, I wanted to see what you were gonna, because you were showing me, you were like, hey, show me. And, like,
actually kind of curious just from hearing that. Like, it shows that Tony Stark, what they've been doing with Robert Downey Jr. and just Iron Man, has been really good fucking character development all the way through from the Marvel Universe. Because, like, just hearing that, like, how he's kind of like the villain of this movie, pretty much getting Vulture to do his thing, it always shows you that Iron Man is like Tony Stark is always trying to do the good thing, but not go about it the best intentions, and always fucking people over by doing it. Like you said with the Vulture, and it's kind of funny. It adds an interesting dynamic because he's like trying to tell through the trailers. He's trying to tell Spider-Man to not clean up a mess that he actually caused. And like I said, it goes back to shades of Iron Man 1, where it's just like, oh yeah, I made my own problem, like just weapons and stuff like that. Or fucking like goes back to Ultron. It's just like, or Civil War. Like he's always trying to like solve these problems, but he's not always going about it the best way. So in a sense, that makes him a bad guy, just because he always has the right intentions but fucks up. So I like that. I love how they're building Iron Man in this fucking universe.
And the big thing to build too, because we don't want to do a full-on review thing or whatever, because we are going to be ending very, very soon. So one thing I'm going to add in is the whole MJ thing. She's Mary Jane. Now,
Fuck that.
So why are you against that? I'm so curious because
I'm not against Zendaya being MJ. I just was really pissed off by that because it was the same thing when people were talking about I forget the movie we referenced it earlier when they were like, oh, he's not Khan, he's not Khan, he's not Khan.
Yeah, Star Trek. Yeah.
Star Trek Into the Darkness. I didn't know the last part. So I felt like this was just another one that all the fans figured out, and they just did it in a way that was like very cheesy.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt like it kind of hurt the movie to my degree. I still gave it better than Sex, but that was one of the movies kind of like when they did a few times when they went like, oh, just be a neighborhood-friendly Spider-Man. They did that. I felt a little too much, and I felt like that was up there with that. It just felt unnecessary. Like, I feel like if they would have just said, oh, my middle name is Mary, and just had her like get a package or a mail, and we could all just freaked out over that. But the fact that she did it as a kind of a weird reveal, I didn't appreciate it.
I'm the opposite. I kind of like that because it's just like I didn't really go through the whole movie, the reveal. I didn't go through the whole movie. Go, oh, is that Mary Jane? I'm like, I don't really care. I'm kind of like interested. I'm like, oh, they're gonna go somewhere different. And then it's like, oh, by the way, my name is MJ. I'm like, you're Mary Jane? Okay, I guess you are.
Well, that's the thing. You're not like we even talked about this in that. I think it was in the viewing party for Anime Night. You weren't a big fan of Spider-Man growing up, as well.
I
right?
was more of a fan of the television show and video games. I watched the movies, but I didn't love the movies like everyone else.
I noticed a lot of people that are hardcore fans, and I hate to put myself in that category, but I am when it comes to Spider-Man. Like, I had a conversation in a bathroom with a random person over Spider-Man one time. So I'm just that dude. So, like, when they did that, in my whole head, I'm like, okay, who's MJ? Who's MJ? Who's MJ? Is it this girl? Is it that girl? Okay, it's probably Zendaya. It's probably Zendaya. And I'm just waiting the whole time for the reveal, and the reveal was just very lackluster to me. Like, I kind of want it to be a little bit more either tongue-in-cheek or a little bit more of an amazing reveal. Like, he just figures out of nowhere.
You know what would have been cool?
I wanted more personality.
Gotcha. You know what would have been cool? Like a nice reveal instead of saying the whole MJ. What if MJ actually said, "Go get him, Tiger"? Like that would have been actually badass.
Actually, yeah, I agree with that. That would have
worked too, but that also has a risk of being cheesy.
True.
No, because think about it, like Audrey, like if we're talking specifically, like which is like, oh, why are you going to the bathroom? And instead of saying, oh, my friends call me MJ, just be like, oh, go get him, Tiger. Like as a, get the fuck out of here.
A gay euphemism as well. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, but that's the thing too, is like even thinking about the movie and everything in that sense of like MJ and whatnot, and Zendaya and her, like how good she did, as a character.
Oh, she was great.
It was cool. Fun. Here's the issue I have, and Allie got my ass because I was like talking about how much I like Liz, and because I just have a crush on Liz, dude. Like I fucking, oh my god, bro, she's so fucking fun. And Lauren Harrier is her name. And I never seen anything else she's on. I literally looked her up because I liked her that much because she's fine. But I feel, and God, I'm gonna piss some motherfuckers off with this next statement. Do you guys feel like they only added black people just to do it? Because Liz could have been white so easily.
I think that
Rashad laughed.
That's a question as somebody who's not a member of the black race.
No, No, you do realize that this takes place in New York. Queens! New York.
What?
There's a lot of black people in Queens. That's just how it is.
And I think like one of those things where it's like
New York, it's very multicultural. Like you're gonna go to school with a bunch of people who are black, and also Hispanic and Indian and Arab. There's a lot of people in New York.
And I think
I don't know how to answer that question outside of racist.
No, it wasn't. But it wasn't like I hate seeing black people on screen. I'm saying like I don't understand why like. Okay, like the whole thing, and I know like this is a new world, and it's this happens all the time. But it's like, dude, I'm so sick of the white dude getting the black kid and the wife. It's like, for one, if you're gonna do it, like at least have like it doesn't make sense to me. It just I don't know. And the big thing too is like that was one of those. It was so shocking, yes. But it was shocking because it's like, oh shit, like that's kind of cheap. Like, of course we're not gonna expect the fucking vulture to be the dad. He's a different race. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like they used that just to be shocking. It didn't really
I don't think they did that because one of those things where it's like I always hate where it's like, oh, we feel the need to cast this to fill some sort of like expectation. Like when I saw the casting, I'm like, oh, this to me seems like they just kind of got like Ali's saying, like they didn't sit there and be like, we need this person because of this, race. They're like, no, like who it would be in this general area who kind of looks like. They would grow up in this kind of area, and it's just like, let's just kind of pick them based on how we feel that they would help with the movie,
And I hate to say this too, but Ned, look, it's not an age thing. Really
I don't hate him as much as you do, though.
That fucking fat, dumb motherfucker. Like, I hate that annoying. Every scene he's on, he is annoying as fuck. Like, I watched it again. I had to skip all those scenes. It's like cringeworthy. Like, my fucking fingers curl up.
No, because I had a buddy of mine that was just like that. So he kind of reminded me of a friend of mine.
You're scaring Alex Bird, man. Come on. Racism.
No, I get what you mean. Like the kid kind of like was doing that typical like, oh, I'm gonna, he did the whole almost every single fat kid stereotype except for the fact that he was eating all the time. That's the only stereotype they didn't put in.
Dude,
thank God I didn't do that.
No, dude, the only next was that chipmunk fucking thing where like the fat chipmunk was like, sorry, like that kind of shit. That's all we needed next.
Yeah, but I like what it's like. He knows that he's Spider-Man, and his first question is, dude, what the fuck can you do? I'm asking the same fucking thing. Yeah. Oh, you're fucking Spider-Man, man? Okay, I'm gonna test this shit out. I'm gonna do experiments, man. Let's see how far your webs go. Like, oh, man. And I kind of like that in that sense of he was excited. Like,
exactly. I was 50-50 with him just because he was just like an inch away from telling everyone, "Hey, Peter, Spider-Man!"
Yeah. What did you do?
So cool.
Imagine Gaja. Like, imagine you tell Gaja you're Spider-Man. Gaja would be like, "Shit."
Fuck no. That's like telling me you killed somebody. Like, I don't hear that shit.
Seriously, I mean, you saw how like in that one scene where they
I got drunk to the friends, man. I claim a Spider-Man. My
You saw that one scene where in the gym and Liz is like, "Oh, I think Spider-Man's really cool," and then Ned's just like, "Hey, Peter, no Spider-Man." Peter's like, "What the heck is wrong with you?"
He's trying to help his boy out, man. Like, that was the same thing. Like, yeah,
I know, but seriously, like that could have serious repercussions. Like, he asked him not to tell anyone, and the first thing he's like, "Hey, Peter, no Spider-Man."
Yeah, but he also told Spider-Man, I cannot hold this fucking secret. I gotta literally tell everybody.
No, that screwed him over in the long run because after Liz found out that Peter knows Spider-Man, she told freaking her father. And that's what all the events happened was because Ned told everyone, "Hey, Peter knows Spider-Man."
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like that because at the end of the day, like, and what I like this movie did, like, more than almost any kind of movie with kids, is show that they're kids. Like, if I was 15 years old and I knew my buddy was Spider-Man, I would probably have a tough time keeping the secret.
Then you're fucked up then.
Ned is the Jar Jar Binks.
No, okay.
No.
When you think about it, Jar Jar Binks is the whole reason the Empire exists.
You're Spider-Man.
That is so different.
That's one fucking point, but I'm not giving you Jar Jar.
No, like he might be a moron, but he's not to the level of Jar Jar Binks. Because you know what? He actually was useful.
I'm just saying that he's a ripple of effect of everything else happening.
I do have to give this to Julian really quick because he hasn't said much, and we have everyone's going on at once, and I know we're all having a good time. But Julian, you've been trying to say something. By the way, welcome. You look nice. Did you get off work right now? Fucking great.
I did just get off work. I got a stain.
It's hard
black,
to tell.
I can't see the shit.
Dude, It looks like your shirt.
Wait, where's John Boyega?
Julian's shirt looks like it's an untextured wall as his shirt.
Dude, I saw that Anthony said that because if I did, it'd be the third racist shit I said today.
What? You missed it, Julian. We'll explain to you after.
Okay, I'm glad I did.
Better without
I'm
context.
black? What?
They could have used more white people in this.
Hey, Julian, don't flatter yourself. What you thought of Spider-Man?
Well,
If you look closely, you can see Viola Davis in this shirt. No, but, I'm sorry.
This is the shirt I met Viola Davis in, but that's besides the point. I love Spider-Man Homecoming, and I disagree with what you said about Ned and what you said about the reveal and all that with the Vulture. I thought that all the characters were awesome, and I think they said this in the Double Toasted review. The Vulture's like reason to be pissed was fucking amazing, and then just like fucking with finesse sprinkling that shit on that it was the dad of that girl. That was like, yes, like this is like some like human drama, and that's what Spider-Man's all about. Like Spider-Man isn't about fucking the blue fucking what's it called, laser coming out of the sky. He's about, oh my god, my girlfriend's dad hates me, you know, like that's what Spider-Man should be about. So like I dug the fuck out of it. And Ned, I never was annoyed. I thought that he was super well written, and like I like want to echo everything you guys are saying about how it's like, oh man, my
Oh, well, that's...
He knocked himself out
Okay, never mind. Instead of imagine Julian finding out your buddy Spider-Man. Like,
I promise I had nothing to do with that, y'all.
Stop. Oh, there it goes.
Alright, there we go, Julian.
Yeah.
Here now.
No, yeah, but like the way that he like was just excited about just being that guy that helped Spider-Man, I thought that was perfect because Spider-Man was excited about being Spider-Man. If Ned was like, dude, that's gay, can you take off those tights? The movie over. Okay.
Well, no, that's what happened if Nick found out his buddy was Spider-Man.
What would have happened, and this is the thing that bothers me so much, is like all he had to do is just be like, "Oh man, you're Spider-Man, that's cool." Anyways, let's get into these other situations where maybe somehow, some other way you find out, or that girl Liz will
that's
find
like
out.
someone telling you they have a 3-foot long dick. You're gonna want to see it. Like
No, I'm gonna take
go back to that with you. Like,
no, Julian, speak for yourself. I'd be like, you know what?
I don't speak for all men.
Dude, I know it's 2017 and gayness is cool, but god damn it, Julian. Like
Sorry, Julian.
to be-
You walked
to
out
be
of
fair-
landmine and we're just watching like the carnage, man.
Cornbread, don't betray me.
No, I'm not gonna betray you. I'm just gonna say, like, to be fair, like with Ned's character, he was kind of like that white kid from Static Shock, because they were always like, hey, let's use your powers to like up our popularity. Like, let's do something so that we can both look good in this situation.
I saw someone pointed out that that character Ned reminded them of the kid in the chair from Kim Possible, and I thought that was like a perfect comparison.
Yeah.
And I think that makes the character even better because I bet you Ned has all of Kim Possible on DVD.
No, it's one of those things, and it's starting to bug me a little bit as a cliche in superheroes of, okay, we got the superhero, and then we got the motherfucker in the chair. They make the joke.
No, yeah, they make the joke. Yeah.
They make the joke in the movie.
I like that.
Everybody,
though.
I have expected him to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like that guy in the chair, like, you know that guy with the ears and the girl that can't walk. Like, I have expected the reference Batman in this movie.
I really like that they have to have the Scream approach to these superhero movies now, where it's like they're self-aware of like how this shit goes. Like that.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like
they read
it's a little too
comics and
cliche
shit.
for me at this point.
It doesn't feel like a
Like, I can't wait for Black Panther to have a guy in the chair. I'm like, oh, Black Panther, do this, do that.
I don't think he will, at least in the first one.
It'll happen. Some friend, he accidentally walked into the room for some fucking reason with the Black Panther. You're Black Panther?
Me personally, I didn't feel so hostile towards the Nick character because I said this to you multiple times, Nick. I think I even mentioned on the show. I felt like that character was a lot. I felt he acted a lot like Trey and how lovable, how hyped he was about things. So every time I was watching him, I was like watching Trey hang out with Spider-Man in my point of view.
That's exactly how I felt.
To the point where he was like, "Yo, man, I want to be the guy in the chair." I was like, "That's fucking Trey, man."
The one thing I will say though, one person that he did remind me of, and I wish it would have went in this more direction, but and Anthony's gonna love me for this, but Infamous, Cole's friend.
Oh yes.
I feel like it should have been like that, where he's stupid, but he helps him get shit done, and he's not like, I mean, hey, we all have a different opinion on annoying. Because I want to say he is annoying. I'm gonna say I find him annoying because I want to like insult the character and everything. But it's just kind of like, I found the dude from Infamous very stupid too. He did the same shit that Ned did.
But
But
Ned
there's
wasn't
reasons
stupid though.
Well, okay. What he means by stupid, he doesn't mean IQ wise. He means like, oh man, I'm gonna almost blow your secret to the girl you crush so you can kind of get laid maybe. Like he means like in the sense of like he's doing these things without thinking. That's what he means.
He's somewhat socially inept.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of funny you bring up Infamous too, because like this is kind of going off track, but like Zeke is like a really good side character done right. Like he's loyal to his best friend only to a certain degree, because when that motherfucker gets his head on a race fair, he like, bitch, I want powers too. So I'm like, damn, like, hey,
Like, fuck this shit. Power's mine, but
Where's the spider? Is dead.
I think having a character like Ned, though, it just kind of like really grounded the movie and made it like everyone feel more human. Like having that scene of someone with no powers wear the Spider-Man mask and be just amazed by it. That's really good character development.
That actually
you can do that, but you can also, keep it held back. Like you don't have to go to an extreme of like he's so excited that he's fucking retarded. And
But dude, he's a
like,
kid though. He's literally like a 15-year-old kid.
Even the kid, he was playing it more like the nerdy kid. He wasn't feeling more amazed. It was just like this ADD excitement, like, oh my god, Spider-Man vision.
No, like dude, like literally, I've been around some fucked up kids, and we did some fucked up shit when I was like 8 to 12.
Yeah, but were you Spider-Man?
And I never told anybody.
Yeah, but were you Spider-Man though?
Not yet.
I seen a motherfucker climb up a wall. He was called Carlos.
That's how he got here. Is my classmate.
I'm glad you guys brought up the mask because I think this is my only legitimate criticism of the movie. Is I don't like how much like equipment and how much tech is in his suit. Because it's like he has all this like, oh man, the web shooters he makes. And then he has all this, like, the combos, like he's in Injustice, too. He has all these combos he can do on his fucking web shooters. Then he has the eyes with the, he can see through walls. He can hear dialogue. I'm like, if I got the Spider-Man costume, could I be Spider-Man? Like, how much of it is Spider-Man versus the suit,
Well, it's like...
No, go ahead, Rashad.
No, like part of that I agree with, but most of it, like web shooter combinations, he's always been able to do that. He's always had some sort of tech to implement. Like I remember there was one, I think, cartoon where he could press his fingers against a wall and hear what they're saying on the other side of the glass. But I fucking hate that AI. That AI needs to fucking go because she was my only thing I hated about the other Homecoming. I hated her.
Yeah.
I hated that AI. That felt
only
way
one who
too
liked
Iron
the
Man.
AI, and Rashad, you're an OG Spider-Man fan, I assume. So you appreciate that if the AI was Bruce Campbell and it fucked with him the whole time? Like,
That's the only reason I would have.
Yeah, it needs to be Bruce Campbell.
That would be awesome.
I gotta be honest, like that would have been the coolest fucking thing.
Like, if he would turn out, okay, kid, I know you're not supposed to access these levels. You don't know these shooters. What the fuck is going on?
And one thing that bothers me, he still has not made a spider boat yet. Why is that not in the live-action movies
I'll
yet?
fucking choke you if they
Make a boat out of web.
I am going to see you in 2 months. Don't make my wrath upon you.
2 months.
He has too many abilities, but you're mad he didn't make a boat out of webs?
Dude, he made a parachute. He had a parachute, but it was not made out of webs. That is my problem with the Spider-Man live-action movies. They don't go stupid enough with his web powers.
The parachute is the closest that you will
Alan,
get.
I'm sorry, I gotta be man. No one makes me get on Julian's side, but holy fuck! God damn.
Could you imagine Tom Holland making a boat out of webs and it being serious? Like, I would laugh my ass off, and I'd be the happiest man on earth if they did that. Dude, he can make a hammock out of webs. Why can't he make a boat? He has enough web shooter combinations.
Where's the robot?
Yeah.
Okay,
What? Oh, yeah, there's a fucking robot.
There's a robot in the Japanese version.
I like the way Ruther said that. I was thinking of Jurassic Park, like, where's the goat?
When Ruthless said that, I was ready to kill him. So I was ready to go seppuku. Like, no, there is a fucking Spider-Man robot.
Spider-Man.
Why the fuck does Spider-Man need a boat? Why am I thinking about
Because he's going through the swamps. How else is he going to get through the swamps?
He can't web sling in the ocean. You might need a boat there.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Man, I love
And
that
he can't
scene.
fight giant monsters on his own. He needs a mech. Like,
Did anyone notice that Spider-Man just hijacks the car at one point in time?
He steals a fucking car. Well, he would have used a bunch of cranes, but they weren't around.
Oh.
Yo, I don't mind those cranes.
Fuck those.
You mean the cranes with the American flag to show symbolism that we're all together?
No, but one thing I gotta just bring up really quick, because I mean, we are. I mean, there was only like 2 or 3 things to spoil. I think we all set that up. But here's the thing: I forget who. Oh, what's up, Justin?
Oh, I was just thinking. I had like maybe 2 things to say that I wanted to talk about that happened at the very, very end.
Oh, you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, just I'll go through these quickly. One, I'm really excited that the fact that Aunt May knows he's Spider-Man now.
Oh, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it because literally, I mean, I know it's a thing now in the MCU that no one has a secret identity anymore except like Spider-Man with like a few people. But that was the best way to end the movie, right there with that panning shot where you see her in the toy.
God! Can we point out that Spider-Man is terrible with his powers? Because this is the second time in the exact same situation he got caught being Spider-Man. How are you this bad at it?
Well,
Spider Sense is a weak, not being that.
Well, to be fair, he did when he came into his apartment. He was like, "Aunt May, are you here?"
Yeah.
She wasn't there, so.
Oh no, she was there. She was just occupied.
No, and here's
Oh
another thing.
yeah,
Too,
with every person in the movie wanting to sleep with that May. Like, what the hell is with that? Every person was hitting on her
because she's so hot.
No, and then plus, Alan, you asked that question, but the reason why is because this is like the new force. He's a kid. So, since he's a kid, any stupid fucking thing is okay because he's
And there's a lot of stupid things in this movie. This kid is a fucking moron.
If he's already jacking off thinking about Liz, he's not a fucking kid anymore. Like,
Damn.
God damn it.
But,
like,
damn, you would have people fucking go to war at like 8 to 15 and shit.
I'm just saying.
But Justin, what was your second point, though, sweetie?
Oh, my second point, I mean, I kind of agree with Alan only in the sense that there isn't a lot of big surprises or big things, but the one genuine surprise I had was the moment where I realized, oh wait, Gwyneth Paltrow is in this movie, where she just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Hey, they finally she finally crawled back and said, "Okay, I'll be in these movies again."
I know, and I was just like, oh wait, now they're gonna get married? What? That was the one that got me really off guard.
And it's just throwaway, like no one was really supposed to talk about it. I was like,
Wait.
yeah, I guess we're gonna get married.
In the last movie, weren't they all like, "Hey, Pepper and I are taking a break"? Like what?
Well, what happened was Gwyneth Paltrow straight up just didn't want to be in these movies anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I think they're like, it's like you have nothing else going in your life. Here's like a little bit of money, come back.
Yeah.
What about that Spiderman? And she's like, okay, my kid's like
Sure,
that.
why not? I could use money.
And another thing too that was really bothering me as well is the fact that okay, like I didn't want to bring this up last week, or whatever, but like I do have one really fucking huge complaint. The elevator scene where literally everyone who knows Spider-Man. Well, I'll tell you why, because I don't even know if you know what I'm about to say, but like the whole thing.
I do. I was there when you were yelling.
Oh, okay. But no, like the whole thing where like he's on the helicopter, he flips over, then somehow he gets back at the thing, and like that's cool. I get that you need to have your big Spider-Man scene. That's totally awesome, and that was a cool scene. I actually like it. But the thing is, everybody in the elevator was people that mean something to Spider-Man, and I hate that convenience factor in the story of like. You couldn't have like another like stranger in there. Like
there were two strangers. There was that random kid that like there are two random kids that I don't know any of their names, but they were just all on the same team. Like I get what you mean. Like that is something that bothers me. Like everyone that whenever you have a superhero, every single person. Well, Liz was in there. Flash Thompson and Michelle, and of course
she
Ned.
was on the ground.
Was she? Okay, well, but what I'm getting at is 3 people there were on there was a team, and there's a bunch of other people that never really got any sort of dialogue or any sort of names that were strangers. But I get what you mean, the whole convenience factor. That's kind of why I don't like the fact that Vulture is in any way connected to Spider-Man, even tangentially, because that is a cliche.
Too, though, it's like okay, like and here's movies in general that do this all the time, though. In real life, let's just be honest, and I hope someone can agree with me here. But the girl, especially the skinny girl who's fine as fuck, she's gonna get safely out the elevator before anybody else does. I'm just saying that's.
Well, you saw Flash Thompson being a dick because what happened was they were getting whoever was closest. It wasn't a situation in which, let's all rush there. They had to move slowly because they knew they were falling. Liz was in the back. Flash Thompson's like, fuck you, bitch. I'm getting out of here first. And by that point, Spider-Man had to save people because it's a situation when that happens, it's the people that are closest are going to get out first. And the people that were closest were the teacher, were a bunch of the other kids. And then Flash is like, fuck, I'm going to take the place. Like, Liz was in the back, so it's like it kind of makes sense that she was the last one because she was.
I'm actually I gotta defend your opinion halfway, Nick, because I've always had a problem with that in the later Spider-Man movies. Like in the first one, somehow Osborn just wants to make Aunt May recite the Bible, and then you have the second one where she somehow gets to the bank at the same time that the octopus is robbing the bank and Spider-Man shows up.
I know,
like
God is like just putting all this shit together to be like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if this world like just
let's not even get into how Mary Jane always gets jacked. But it's a movie, but this one did it a lot smarter, Justin. Whereas they established that he has a relationship with all these characters from his clubs, from different events and social groups that he's a part of. So I didn't really feel as mad as it, Nick, because they kind of do explain that pretty heavily when it comes to why he's the reason they're in DC. And if you've ever been on a school trip, especially if they go out of state, they do that. They'll take you to random trips. I love that they show the kids sneaking out just to have the pool. Like that showed them being even more like children. Because me and my friends would have done that on a school trip. We would have snuck out for the pool at the night.
Yeah, dude, all the characters were real as fuck, and they were all really well written. I love the line from the teacher when they get back. It's like,
oh yeah,
glad they all made it back alive. Not like last time.
It's okay, I guess.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. I mean, I know it's late and everything too. So I kind of forgot who reviewed. I mean, I know Justin reviewed it, but Julian, Ruthless, Rashad, and Alan. Like, if you guys can just give me your rating. Like, I'm gonna go and start off with Ruthless. Like, what would you rate this movie? And if you already gave it last week, go ahead and give it to me again.
No, I hadn't seen it yet last week. I give it a full price. I thought it was really competent. I liked what I saw. I mean, Michael Keaton's in it, so I was always going to be positive on it for that reason. But it was Michael Keaton getting to really do what I have seen him do and always be just a little bit different than you expect him to show up as. So I like that. I definitely like that Tony wasn't everywhere in the movie, and that really helped me give it a better rating because I think if they'd have put as much Tony in the movie as he was in the trailer, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
They played with him so nicely in the movie. Like whenever he showed up, it was like, ooh, that's nicely done.
Yeah. So I like that. I really don't. I have. This is weird for me to say because I really don't like Zendaya, but I have nothing but positive things to say about this movie. Other than the stuff that people have said already that were problems. Yeah, there were problems, but they didn't take the movie down too much. So full price. On to the next one.
Nice, Rashad. How about you, man?
Yeah, like to me, like the biggest thing, like I know like Marvel movies get like complaints, like shit, and like all that, and they're pretty much like founded. But the one thing they do better to me than anyone, like any of the other like comic book movies lately, you have to sell people on the character. And lately, Spider-Man really hasn't been sold too well on his character, especially Amazing Spider-Man. That was mostly about Sony trying to do spectacle rather than trying to like do anything new with the character. They tried, but it was bullshit. But with Marvel getting it back and doing Homecoming, they really fucking sold Peter Parker. Like, he's a kid that fucks up, but he's trying to do it right. That scene, I'm not sure if you all talked about it, like where he's trapped under the rubble.
Oh,
he has to get himself out. That one scene alone sold me on him as a character, as Peter Parker. And, like, that is what I've been waiting to see as Spider-Man, like, my entire life, just to see on screen. And I love the movie for that. Like, they sold the character, so I give it a full price.
Like I like that too. Like I like.
Damn! Don't.
No, I didn't even notice it, dude. I did not even notice it. But Ali said that shit in the chat, and I was trying to. No, but moving on. And I didn't even bring up your name earlier, but Julian, I know that you didn't review this last week, right?
No, I haven't even done a review for my YouTube channel. I'm behind. I've been doing too much work. But this movie was like on the verge of a better than sex. I don't know if you guys have made any comments on like some of the technical problems, at least that I saw.
The CGI
like
was fucking not great.
I don't know, man. I don't remember. I don't think
there's two things that stand out to me. The beginning, we all agree that CGI is kind of in some places, like it looks kind of funky. But at one point, the lighting was super fucked up when he was crawling on the ceiling. It's like, why does he have a shadow when the light on the ceiling is right above him? Yeah. Like, what the fuck? That makes no sense.
Okay.
Like, he's climbing on the wall and there was like a shadow of him. It was just like, it looked kind of weird. That and like the technical stuff. But other than that, like, I love that the movie started with Spider-Man's Snapchat story. I thought that was really clever. I think that the way that Spider-Man's story echoes Iron Man is going to build like a really cool father-son relationship between them. Like, it already came across in the trailer like that when they had that moment. It's like, I'm opening the door. It's not a hug. Fuck off. Unless your aunt wants me. But other than that, like, it is a full price. I'd want to give it better than sex so bad because it was so fucking fun and it was hilarious in a lot of parts. But just the technical, like, it could have been so much better, I think. Just a couple more renders. But yeah, full price. I can't wait to see those characters again. All the characters are fantastic.
And the one thing too about the graphics or the special effects, I keep saying graphics. And that's what happened to Anthony Wilson.
Man, hey, Spider-Man Homecoming, best CG, best game ever.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, where it did look good and it looked really good was when Vulture and Spider-Man were fighting on the fucking plane.
Oh,
which was
agreed.
ridiculous. And the reason why is because you can't see anything. So
I mean, that's the thing is like my complaints of the CGI are only in the beginning, and then that one part where it's like a technical flaw. Like I didn't think that it looked very good when he was climbing on his own ceiling, but other than that, like everything looks fucking amazing.
Now, Alan, Mr. Speederman himself, the real man. Can I say Speederman? I don't think I should. That's yours. I'm not going to get copyright.
You gotta say Spider-Man.
Yeah, dude, Speederman, man. It's a Speederman. But no, Alan, it's all you.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's a single flaw in this movie. Like, I think this movie doesn't have anything that this isn't a Man of Steel situation where I just started screaming at the end. Like, there's nothing bad in this movie or a flaw that needs to be fixed. But it also has a situation in which there's nothing stood out as spectacular. Like Rashad mentioned that scene of the him being kind of, almost crushed by the stuff. And that was probably my favorite scene in the entire movie. And it was great, but it's one of those things where it's like Spider-Man himself as a character is great. And he's great when they're talking and their dialogue. But all the action scenes to me felt like, spectacle action of, him kind of punching or him using his webs. And I'm like, I'm kind of used to Spider-Man fighting, henchmen and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I kind of have to give this movie a matinee only because there's nothing that really blew me away as far as like, nothing to me that can come out as memorable besides some of the dialogue. So that's the only reason I'd give it a matinee.
But if he fought a giant ape, then it would be a
No, it would have been a fuck you. If he fought a bunch of henchmen and just wiped the floor with them, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's what I want to see.
But the thing is, like, we were going to talk about more movies. It is late. I think we're like at a 2.5-hour mark. And
Probably.
I'm sleepy as shit, and I don't want to, like, keep people on for too long because I'm trying to be happy, keep everyone happy. So we're going to end this shit, and we are going to get to the after hours. And I don't think we have any viewing party stuff, so if you guys come in...
No, it's kind of chill.
Yeah, we'll just chill. Maybe we can make it rapid, and we all like show things that other people hate. But Anthony, I'm gonna go ahead and let you play us out some while I get the outro ready.
People, like again, I'll just like a quick mention because we did a poll for this anime night. So everybody voted. We're doing anime movie night again. So guys, if you got your recommendations for some anime movies that you think we should like bring up or put into a poll, just make sure you send it to me on Facebook or something like that. And I don't know what the next movie night is going to be. Like, yeah, I got that already planned.
We'll let you know. It's under construction.
All right, it's under construction. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So with that being said, people, say it with me all on 3.
Oh, yes.
1, 2, 3. Attack!
Booty. Oh, I messed up again.